Apart, I fell apart. You can't have my heart. My calls to the stars, place I know. Ah, damn. Ma'am, you are missing a button. Nuh-uh. You didn't press the button. There you go. Vice President, how we doing today? Actually, I need to get back on my phone real quick. Uh, What's up, B-Rock? About that. Um, Go to Discord. I'm alright. We watched F1 with Toes this morning. Um, Trying to get my schedule for the week for work to see if I can do double watch party. Well, not double watch party, but extend my watch party. Cause I'm watching NA Central, which that's the main part of the stream. And then, depending on if I work or not tomorrow, I'm probably gonna play or not play, watch West as well. But either way, we're watching Central fully through. That's no brainer. Today's about to be a fucking movie. Shit, I might not even be ready. Hold up, let me get the map already pulled up. Alrighty. Give me a moment. That's the bad chicken effect. 15 eliminations. Proud of you, brother. Like I say, every day you're just gonna keep on getting better and better. It's toes! Bans everyone in chat. That is true, Toes. You can't ban the vice president. Erie! Put you over there. Get these damn controller situations all fucking goddamn figured out. I had to switch out my standard controller for a backup one that I had a backup standard because my cord was not working, and then I said fuck it, I'm just fucking watch. See, what time is it? 4:35. It doesn't even start. for about 25 minutes. So, well, technically, you gotta think about the extra fucking 13 minutes that it takes for it to actually start. So, plug, plug. Actually, what time is NA West Heats? From 6 to 8? Wait, nah. Hold on. Twitch. Go to full screen real quick. Find the good old Aussie antics real quick. And we're in ad automatically. Beautiful. Ah, wait. We have a little bit unsmart, so it starts at 9. So that's... Oh yeah, we'll have opportunities to play today. This motherfucker's just watching videos and stuff. Alright. I don't think you guys are ready for this. Like, you see it in the title. You got players like Peter and Poyo, Clix and Rapid. I don't even know who Veno's playing with. I'm gonna be real. I don't even know who he's playing with anymore. I'm pretty sure Higgs and Curve are also in this one. Like, dude, when I tell you today's about to be a movie, we're gonna see. This is literally fucking literal globals. This is gonna be literal globals vibes. And it's only fucking NA Central, dude. Fucking A, bud. I need to pull up the damn leaderboard. No, I cannot talk today. I've been stuttering so much. I can't even type right either. Like, that's how I'm just excited, dude. I can't wait. It's gonna be a motherfucking movie, dude. Fortnite tournament leaderboard. Fortnite competitive events. And go to here. And go to the central tab. And scroll down. Do we have... That's another question. Do we have another player playing today? I kind of doubt it. Let's go to team stats. There's nobody. Nobody's queued up. That's why it's not gonna show me anything. God damn it. Alright. Top 15 advance. Top 15 advance. So top 5 will be winners that got a victory royale automatic qualify. Even if they fall down, doesn't matter. You can't even fall down because a win is 1,000 points. What else? 6th place through 15th, I think, is qual as well. So, yeah. It might be 16th. I don't know. Oh, God. Not really. I mean, if I'm thirsty, it's for anything besides water, and I'm gonna be honest. Might as well just deal with it, because that's all I got to drink, dude. I don't want to drink no milk. What's the weather? Yeah, especially on a day like this. Fuck, no. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at this shit, dude. I didn't even know about it until earlier. We got our own freaking damn code. I don't even wanna no. This is difficult. I don't know who to fucking what skin to wear. Cause we representing somebody today. I think we might have to say fucking hit it with the Peterbot. All Clix just went live. Do you wanna play on creators? Bleh. Bleh. Get that out of here. Get that out of here. No, I said Shark Raiders. Fuck you guys. He's in first, second, and third. Suck it. Traitors. You know what? Hold on, brother. I got you then. Fuck. You definitely want to watch this FNCS heat. No shit, that's why I'm sitting here fucking just talking, chat, getting ready, dude. Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Oh shit, Aviv did qual last night. Let's fucking go, dude. That was... It's going alright. Ready to watch this fucking insane movie that's about to happen. What the fuck? I had us on here, but alright. Fuck it. Nobody wanna fucking... Oh... We came in too early, didn't we? What time is it? 48. Yeah? He said, fuck this. Fuck it. Fucking red up. Oh, how old is it? He fucking going up. Nah, dude, because I don't know how many people. Okay, so it shows 8, so I'm gonna assume that's how many people can be in here at once. How many actually? Yeah, there's 8 fucking teams over there. Yeah, nah, that's diabolical. Fucking. Pow! Oh, realistics? Okay. Wait, I can't. Oh, so I have to just waste. That's so dumb. Where'd you go? Oh. I'm just like, where the fuck? Oh, fuck, dude. Yeah, didn't you fucking kick Vane yesterday? I was about to say, I thought I fucking heard. Fucking. Party leader. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, beautiful. Look at that. Look at that, chat. We're here. Point format. Now, if you get fucking right there and higher. Oh, wait, no, this is the match. Never mind. Yeah. Especially like for maps like this. Just this only. What is this? Bullshit. Bullshit. Bull fucking shit. Bull fucking shit. Bull fucking shit. Look at that, it's fucking Clix. I see that name up there. I don't see nobody from the club. That's definitely from the fucking thing. Oh, hey man, we do got someone. Trying to see who else. I don't know how stacked this lobby is, but I seen Booga already. I seen fucking Clix already. Alright, let me. Clix was on the. Clix and Booga were on the first page. This is the main server, yeah. Actually, I got this. Hold up. We're gonna. Alright, so obviously the face cam ain't gonna work. Hold up. We're gonna just say fuck it, honestly. A little bit of a squeaky squeaky. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying. I think I don't even remember what it was. I think it was yesterday. I was like, just imagine I got like fucking top 5. And no, like you just gotta imagine, you gotta remember this. You're splitting this with somebody. So the 100K, you're getting 50K. You're getting second place placement basically. Yeah, pretty much. Even then, I don't even think that's as much as you're making. You might be making a little bit less. Yep. Yep. I don't care as long as I get the fuck out and get into fucking Central soon. I would be okay with West, but if the problem is West is full of griefers, I'm good. Central, all I gotta deal with is, you know, I know this is gonna sound even worse when I say the names, but I just gotta deal with Peterbot and Pollo. And the rest of the fucking NA Central Avenger team, pretty much. Yes! Yes. Skin or Sprite? Hold up though. Like, what's the Sprite gonna do? You ain't gonna get nothing off of that besides, you know, yeah, the satisfaction of, I guess, getting slammed by fucking people. No, because, like, literally the first day of the Poyo Sprite being out, I was already seeing clips of pros literally going up against fucking Poyo just for it. And I was like, bruh. And obviously, I'm not saying anything bad about it, but it was the female pros. I think Clix might have done it too, I'm gonna be honest. Or unless, you know, Clix is what Clix does and just paid someone and be like, hey, give me this. I'll give you this. Or hold up. Heat 3. Boom, perfect. We found it. I got a perfect face cam spot. Straight underneath the TV. So, I was watching fucking EU earlier, and I was actually seeing people try to use the fucking damn bank shot pistol.
Yes, hey, ready, baby. Welcome back to the FNCS. This is Heat 3.
He does.
I hope you're prepared because
sure does.
The most stacked heats we've ever seen.
Right, dude. Look at my face.
It's FNCS time.
Oh, look, it's my icon skin. Oh, look.
Viv, Kelly, they ain't ready. They ain't ready. They think they're ready, but they're not ready. What's up, Fortnite
No,
fam?
nobody's
Welcome on in. This is
fucking
Heat
ready,
number
dude.
3. That's
Nobody's
Kelly. That's
ready
Vivid.
for the shit.
Kelly, it's Heat 3 time. It's Heat 3 time. All right, they ain't ready.
I mean, listen, we've known, we've expected since the
I mean, we got
qualifiers have
13
wrapped
minutes,
up
like
that
I
Heat
said.
3 is
Look,
going to
see
be the most
the fucking
contentious, most
extra 13
exciting.
minutes before it
But
actually
between
starts.
Heats 1 and 2, we've had upsets, we've had our pros shining, we've had sky bases. The fact that we've already had so much incredible Fortnite in days 1 and 2, and we haven't even gotten to Heat 3 yet, Vivid, I cannot wait.
Oh my god,
But
it's
that
gonna be
just hits
fucking
home the hardest, right,
insane.
Kelly? Because there has been so much incredible stuff happening over the course of Heat 1 and Heat 2. But when we were watching Heats number 1 and Heats number 2, we kept talking about Sunday. We kept talking about Heat number 3 and how stacked it was going to be, how many storylines we had kind of going into the competition here today, and we have finally made it. So even though we saw a bunch of stuff happen in Heats number 1 and 2, I'm expecting just a little bit more out of Heat number 3.
I can't wait, Viv. I can't wait. Let's get into
Exactly.
it. We're gonna jump right into it. So in case you missed out on yesterday or the day before, we've been doing this thing called a session summary. Viv kind of talks us through
the
it.
reality
Take
of
a look at
thinking
all
of
the
that.
duos in here,
Now
so
I
the
don't
players
even
kinda
want to
just
go to a
run
LAN
through some of
event
the stats.
in case
Viv,
I lose.
Viv, hit us with the numbers.
Without a doubt,
I'm
I mean,
scared
the
because
FNCS
like
here is going to tell us
I
a bit
go-
of how stacked Heat number 3 is. By the way, Heats number 1 and 2, we did not get past the 300 mark here on these FNCS finals, and we are up to 414 here in Heat number 3. That to boot, 25 total FNCS wins here across some of our competitors, and kind of that similar theme that we have talked about over the course of the weekend. New duos being 39. I think in Heats 1 and 2 it was like 41 and 40 respectively. So still a bunch of new duos kind of joining the scene here for this competition, which we will jump into more in just a little bit.
I think what's even crazier, though, is to see how much experience, how many accolades we have in this heat, but to also see how many players there are without an FNCS Finals performance. It just goes to show how top-heavy NAC has really become. But of course, we got to talk about the top teams then. We got Higgs and Curve that we have to talk about, Zeke, because as far as duos forming after Major number 1, I was a little shocked to see Higgs and Curve. Obviously, Curve
Big
win
Higgs!
from Major 1 with Veno, not exactly having the summit performance that they wanted, but to see him forming up with Higgs, the duo made of Clix for so long. Vivid, I think a lot of people were a little shocked, but also not
It
necessarily
still hurts to
disappointed.
see
I mean, it's
it
just
not
super rare to
being
kind of see our
fucking
reigning
Clix and Higgs,
FNCS
but you know
champions
what?
just
Not
instantly
gonna
split
lie.
up. But hey, listen, if this is what these guys want to go ahead and do, this is what they felt like
After
was right,
Pro-Am,
then they had to go ahead and play. Because
something
remember, we
changed
talk about
with
it time and
Clix.
time again. What a lot of these players look forward to across the entirety of the year, it feels like every single major, every single event leading up to that last event on the year, that global championship. That we
He
have had
knows
over the past
that
couple of
was
years, it just
he
feels
knows
like
that
everything
fucking
is
Pro-Am,
all
yes, it
about that.
technically
So if you
counts
have
as an
Kurt Veno,
FNCS
reigning
win.
FNCS champions on NAC,
But
go win the summit, and they play
Peterbot
37th,
even
they don't
fucking won
qualify
last year,
globals,
and he
then
was like, I
surely
call
they
that
felt
like a
something just
0.5
wasn't
win,
right there.
if
So they felt like they
anything.
needed to make some changes because again, they're just
Yeah, so he says
about
if
that
anything, I
global
got
championship
6.5
qualification. That
championships,
being
and I was
said,
like,
though, we're gonna be seeing Curve and Higgs
makes
kind of
sense.
try to do the same exact thing over the course of, you know, not only this weekend in terms of qualifying to the grand finals, but then of course next weekend they're going
but
to
not like after he won Pro-Am.
And I like how this has kind of panned out for both Higgs and Curve. I feel like there could be a really good duo.
We all thought, oh yeah,
like that. I like the
all right,
sound
we're
of
ready
that.
for
Higgs
Clix and
and
Higgs
Curve.
to
Okay, I
start
like that. But obviously then,
dominating and
if
see what they
Clix
can
isn't
do.
part of this anymore,
And then the news was broke out that it's
actually
not even
Rapid.
Clix and
So
Higgs anymore,
now
it's
we have
Clix
a
and
different
Rapid, and I was
style
like,
of
are
duo
you
here,
fucking serious?
Clix and Rapid.
Look at
Talk to me
these
about
boys.
this matchup.
You know, an interesting mashup indeed. I think that as far as the start of their journey has gone, it didn't necessarily, oh my goodness, it
'Cause
didn't
this isn't
necessarily go
a
the way that
based
they
on
wanted.
organization
However,
one.
they have definitely in the last
It's not like
2
East,
weeks,
it's the,
right
yeah,
just
it's not
before
like
Opens
the
happened,
reload one that
picking
we were
up
watching.
steam, landing over in Shaken Sanctuary
That
right
one
now.
does
If I'm
suck
not mistaken,
because
uncontested for the Heats
for the
today,
duos that
they're
already
looking like they have
qualify
a
for that,
pretty good, you know,
they've
showing
split
to get
with
into
their
obviously the
BR
grand finals.
duos
There's
for
no doubt in that.
FNCS, so like
But also
I'm
just
pretty
seeing
sure
how they've
Rapid
been
already
performing in the
qualified
last
for
couple of
the
weeks, I
eSport
wouldn't
World
be too
Cup
surprised
shit,
to see a great showing
but
in grand finals as well.
in FNCS
Listen,
stuff,
they
he's playing with
may
Clix
work
now.
very well on the server. It may, you know, it may work out
I'm
very,
pretty
very
sure
smoothly
he
for them when
qualified
they're
for
playing the game, but for me,
EWC
I'm
with
going to slip up at
fucking
least once over the course
Cold.
of the next week. I'm going to say Cold and Rapid. I mean, come on, Rapid. You can't team up with somebody's name who starts with a C once more after you know, you and Cold kind of break up there. But yeah, for Clix and Rapid, man, I mean, this is great. Obviously, Clix still trying to chasing that FNCS win. It does, of course, have to qualify to the grand finals today to go ahead and actually have it.
Neither of them are winners.
But I feel like Rapid.
I thought Rapid was a winner.
Weapon here. I mean, this
I thought he had at least one.
Over the past year, Chapter 6 and now Chapter 7 has not placed outside of top 6 every single online FNCS in those regards. So Rapid and Clix, man, keep an eye on
I'm not gonna lie. I love you, Clix.
Mix up the names.
But you need to definitely take that 1X out of your name, dude.
Let's keep going though. Booga and Braze, yet another duel we'll be seeing here compete in the heat. I mean, dude, Booga looking great. Now paired up with Braze.
I'm surprised Peterbot
Kelly,
didn't see that and then change his name to with a 6X.
From a name quite like Booga.
You know, it's so interesting when we talk about Booga because I feel like every time people start to be like, oh, he's washed, he's gone, is when he actually comes out on
Booga's
top
not fucking washed, dude.
which is obviously what we saw from Booga and Braids
this is
coming out of the Reload Elite series.
Yeah, he definitely wants us to think like he does not care.
Have an easy time
but
right
let
now
me
as
be
far
real.
As the heats go.
Esport or the Esport World Cup shit.
They've only recently kind of formed the
that
end of last
was a wake
season,
up
so to
moment.
see them not necessarily having
Him
the
being
that
super fucking pissed off because he was losing games in skin cups.
Booga,
that just showed like, yeah, it's a skin cup, but dude, that showed like he wants to do something.
Yeah, and this is gonna be that similar theme that Kelly was talking about yesterday, where you take.
He just knows that the fucking talent is.
Team them up with. Kind of this fragger, right? Somebody to kind of carry the torch.
All young age.
Of course, Booga, one of the most experienced
between,
players
I would say, like
today. 26 FNCS final appearances of his own.
Your best ones.
His fair share. Don't get me wrong, but he just has 11.
Yeah.
Right? So the disparity is there
Booga
between
is
the experience. But I feel like this could really work out. But the reason why everybody
like
kind of
Clix,
calls into question, hey, listen, how good
20
is Booga
plus
right now?
already.
We haven't actually seen him play in a final since Chapter 6 Major 3. But over the course of that entire chapter, by the way, he got 7th, 6th, and 7th. So he was doing very, very well in trios just last year. He just has yet to kind of find his footing when it comes down to the duos. But Kelly already mentioned it. Reload Elite Series, going well for these guys. Let's see if they can keep it going here.
That's right, man. We always got to put respect on Mr. OG's name, right? And that is Booga. Like to see that. One final duel here to quickly talk about. It's actually Golden and Ozone coming in here to heat number 3. So talk to us about this duo. What can we expect from them today?
Well, they are going to be contested over in Frosted Flats by Peterbot and if I'm not mistaken about their names. I'm not too concerned about that being the situation.
God, I feel bad
for
the fucking dude that's part of. Wait, is he wearing a? Hold on, brother. Are you not part of Leaf and you are wearing a 7 jersey there, bud? I thought I seen that.
Maybe they're willing to make a little bit more risks. And honestly, I'm really excited to see what their coach
I'm about to buy me one
soon.
I'm not even joking.
In the final 2 div cups, getting 4th and 2nd place, have really been showing up.
I'm literally, I literally was thinking about, I was like, what do I do? Put that chicken or do I just say fuck it, chicken? I was like, nah, we're gonna do a Mr. President one.
Job by these guys. Of course, we're be seeing them later on in the year to kind of continue on that and see if just getting that little bit of boost and experience can help them kind of maybe break into that top 10. Of course, though, Kelly already kind of mentioned it, to actually kind of continue with this little bit of a snowball that they are on right now after qualifying to the Global Championships. We would love to see them actually make it into the finals, which, by the way, Golden himself has only done it 7 times making it to an FNCS Grand Finals, and Ozone has only done it 5 times.
So why is his name Leaf? Hold on,
but the fact that they're
I'm like actually
brings
confused.
into the question whether or not they can kind of overcome that early fight to make sure they either kind of get a win today or qualify through consistency.
Yeah, most of them don't have fucking actual jerseys, so they just get given the fucking FNCS shirt.
I feel like we... there's still plenty of duos we need to talk about, but I think we need to talk about the elephant in the room. That is
Peterbot and Poyo
deciding to move away from Sinister. Vivid, can you talk us through
so yeah, we are talking
why
about P and Poyo, but
Well, I went
Veno
ahead and
leaving
wrote down a couple of
the
reasons, and
contest
probably the one that
spot.
everybody's going to be thinking about is that 18-6 scoreline, and it's not even necessarily the fact
The
that it was
Pete and
18-6
Pollo
in
effect.
favor of Buffalo.
18 to 6 off
For some
spawn,
reason, the
dude.
community
Like,
just
yeah, you
kept
definitely
noting
want
this
to
and kept
fucking lose,
reminding
bro.
Veno and Agers, like, hey, listen, by the way, guys, this is the score, you know what I mean? So Veno and Agers might have been kind of constantly thinking about the fact that they were getting a little bit beat up off spawn by Peterbot and Pollo. But also, on the flip side of that, Peterbot and Pollo, they're a global championship qualified team. They kind of have nothing to lose outside of course, that, you know, they want that prize pool money, but all of these
the
players, I already
Peter
mentioned it, all they
Pollo
think about all year
effect.
long is global championships. And if Peterbot and Pollo can kind of prevent one of these top teams from actually qualifying, say,
The PP
here
effect's
today,
gonna be the
then they would
PP
100%
effect.
take every opportunity to go ahead and do this. So maybe that was something that Veno and Agers were thinking about. Also, Kelly, the fact that Shadow and Virgo didn't qualify yesterday to grand finals, and this is a team that lands Heatwave Harbor.
where's my phone
normally,
at?
the fact that they're not going to be
Fuck.
in finals, maybe Agers
Oh,
and
it's
Veno were
literally
like,
my-
well, maybe we can just get Uncon Heatwave in
Oops.
finals.
It's in my
Uncon
fucking
Heatwave
lap.
implies that they're going to be able to take out Bucky and Cam. And now listen, I
Alright.
understand. As far as accolades and general understanding of Fortnite goes, Veno and Agers is definitely up there above Bucky and Cam. However, I will say one of Bucky's strongest attributes as a player is his off-spawn ability. They have the experience, they have the understanding of the POI. So for Veno and Agers to come here kind of expecting to get this potentially uncontested at Grand Finals, I think they might have to fight for it a little bit.
Yep, without a doubt, we'll see how that breaks down. But also, Veno's explanation himself, right? He got an opportunity to explain it for himself. I saw he kind of typed in some chats across the board. And apparently, it was actually his idea to never actually contest Peterbot and Pollo in the end of it all. He was kind of just utilizing them as sort of practice to get better at the new drop mechanic. And apparently, he just was like, listen, we're just going to keep fighting them until it comes down to the moment where we have to leave. So now he's obviously left, and Kelly kind of mentioned it. Veno and Agers are going to be going head-to-head with Bucky and Cam over at Heatwave. We'll have to see how this one pans out. But where does this leave Peterbot and Pollo, the duo, who have once again proved that they are not only one of the best duos in the world when it comes down to just placing in events, but they are also one of the best duos in the world when it comes to these off-spawn fights. I mean, we have seen it multiple times, not only throughout, you know, this year, but prior in the past, these two players constantly having to fight off spawn to kind of prove, hey, listen, we are as good as everybody kind of thinks we are. And I feel like Veno and Agers, they kind of gave them the opportunity to prove once again, hey, listen, guys, we can fend for ourselves off spawn. We're going to push you out of our POIs. Please do not come.
I mean, there's got to be a reason why all the POIs that these guys land, it's like Demon's Domain, Sinister, like it's the, you know, have they become
villainous.
the villains of NAC? I don't know if that's necessarily true, but they've definitely become the Goliath that every David is looking towards to beat right now. And Pollo and Peterbot, even when we saw them at the end of Major 1 where they got, what, 7th place? And obviously that's a pretty poor performance for Pete and Pollo. And then they go to the Summit LAN and we get to see the double solo performance from Pollo. Like, there's never a moment where we're allowed to think, oh, maybe this is it. Maybe everyone else is starting to catch up to them. And then they remind us, no, 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 you guys are playing in our lobby. This isn't NAC. This is Pete and Pollo's lobby.
Man, yeah, it's a lot, right? Like, listen, we talked your ear off, okay? This Heat 3 is absolutely stacked. It's going to be an absolute banger. We have 40 seconds to go, so why don't we do this? Why don't we go head up, meet up with your casters. It's Jacob PR, it's Monster Deface to set up the stage for Heat 3.
Thank you so much. That's the big three on the desk, breaking down all the action and some of the teams we expect to see in Monster. This is why the community is looking at this as one of the hardest heats in Fortnite history.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, the content, the entertainment that is ahead of us is going to sell itself. I don't know who at Epic pulled out the drive and put the script together or something, but this thing is crazy because when you look at the roster here, I mean, Jacob, I saw the comments online. They were saying this looks like a grand finals lobby already.
No, it definitely does. You have superstars.
This was before the fucking
values for these heat stages. Most
I forgot what I think this was before Major 1 happened.
So far in our
Or it was literally like
158.
during like the
It's only a
first stage
3-point
of
jump, but
Major
that's
1.
elimination. That's a placement point, and we've seen 1 point change the difference of the course of history already.
Yeah, most definitely. You add in that little, pepper in the randomness that, of course, there are going to be teams that come from nowhere, probably at the bottom of the standings, and then push through a qualification. We've already seen that.
Oh
this
yeah,
weekend.
because
I mean,
fucking
shoot, yesterday we almost
right
seen a
there and then
sky-facing team in
it
Jordan
was
Brennan
Clix,
take home
Higgs,
a random win in the
Peter,
game
and
number 5.
Poyo.
Keep
They
it
were
interesting
talking
for us.
almost
So, yeah,
like
anything
a
is
lot of
possible
shit
here,
all
but
day,
one
every
thing's for
fucking
certain, Jacob,
day,
there's gonna be
and
some
then
upsets.
Peterbot was just like, I've had enough of this shit. I'm going to take their fucking POI over real quick. And then he took it. He literally took it over, and then he was like, "Here, you can have it back. I'm going to land back at my POI. I don't even want this shit as POI." Even though it was, even though it was like, he even said himself, Wonky Land was a potential like great ass fucking POI, and he was just like, "I don't want it though."
Heat number 3. It's been building up to today all weekend long. How are these storylines going to unfold? I mean, our analysts did it perfectly. They gave us the bigger picture, who's contested, what's on the line, but more importantly, this is just the beginning of what's teeing up one step closer to our grand finals.
Yeah, I even have my eyes glued at this drop map right now to see if there's any tricks up anybody.
Who's all landed here? Is it just Re and
no
I
thing
forgot.
strange going on there.
Nah, Bucky's playing too. Oh my god, no wonder that everybody said this is gonna be a fucking movie. Everybody in NA is playing.
Open to a little bit of shots like this. Luckily for them, it was only a rapid fire SMG, so nothing's gonna.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest. I was thinking that probably they were trying to pull a fast one on us, and they would be, pretty timid, right, in contesting one another. Maybe split the drop. We've seen it time and time again. But it seems like Bucky is here to fight. So we'll just keep an eye on that one. Jumping over to some other contested drops. I mean, when you look from the community side,
NA Central section,
there are 10, 11, 12 plus different potential battles happening right now.
Yeah, just all going. I would feel like at a slower pace here. That's kind of the trend of day 1, heat 1, game 1, kind of throughout the weekend. But right now, you see when you're in the contested fight, sometimes you're not able to really slow down the pace. Neto, Zypta just kind of taking the scraps. They don't want to necessarily take a big risk this early on in the tournament, so they are going to go their separate ways and kind of force a split, which isn't necessarily easy because the amount of teams in and around the battle woods.
Yeah, talk about those split plays now already. We're seeing how Peterbot starts to venture outbound. Trying to play for those mythic weapons. This is going to be a very big day for Peterbot. We'll have to see if he decides that he wants an early clock out, or if he wants to go the distance. We've seen a little bit of everything from different pro players. And playing Peterbot and Boy have averaged roughly 14 eliminations per game,
Pete's got
the 4 games with 30 plus those elims. There's just so much going on here with Peterbot and Boy. You never know what you're going to get, but one thing's for certain, they're always explosive. Look at this fight here, Jacob.
Yeah, you see him just trying to go ahead and box him up. Gets the down. Just 2 angles sometimes. Hard to overcome, especially in these off-spawn fights where you don't have a lot of materials. See Amplified trying to hide. I did see in the feed his teammate did go down to Kugo and Castle, but a third party comes in. That's going to give him a little bit of a blessing and try to assess this situation over at the coast. But a whole nother team comes in as well. 3 teams straight fighting it out here, just trying to figure out how they can get some early points, a little bit of advantage. There goes Castle going down. Fan is going to go ahead and get that first knock, give his team a little bit of advantage. Him and Angel seem to storm this fight, and it seems to be working out.
Yeah, they're doing a good job kind of cleaning things up right here. You saw Tsunami's Amplify kind of lurking on the outskirts. I was uncertain of whether or not he had his duo and he was ready to jump in himself, but seems like he doesn't want to get into this fight. It's a little too messy. If you attract any extra attention, he might get jumped on by these fresh duos here. Angel, Van get a nice little elimination there. Some points on the board, and everyone else splits up.
Amplify, Kugo, just kind of blessed to be able to survive this fight. They might be solos as of now, but they're just trying to venture on out so that way they can hope to get their reboot card and their teammate back in the game later on. Clix and Rapid.
Oh shit.
Early on.
Oh shit. Big fucking Clix. There he is.
Uncontested here, Monster. They're looking for some early game fights.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, you don't want a situation like we saw yesterday where some teams, a little hesitant, right, to make a move in game number 1, put yourself into the action. It takes me back to kind of to Heat 1 where Cold and Ritual nearly found themselves right on the wrong side of the storm surge for game 1, and that's
I'm
kind
gonna
of
still
set them
sit here
off.
and say it.
They were able to come
I'm
back,
surprised
but look at this.
Veno is
curious
still
about
signed
how
by
the fight was going to go
X.
down. Bucky and Cam had a lot of choice words
After
to say
the shit
about
that he
how
did to
they
Clix.
felt they've been prepared in this drop this entire
Technically,
time.
if we're I'm being
crazy
like
for
really
anyone to
honest,
think that they can
this
just jump on over
this
to
fucking
the harbor
tournament
and take
is
the drop from
supposed
them,
to be
but so
Veno
far,
and Clix
Veno
together,
has the lead
but
here.
Yep, and you can already see
fucking Clix went on vacation and Veno dropped his ass.
necessarily have to lurk around super hard, take many big risks. They just need to figure out what
Then
building they
like
think
Clix didn't
Bucky
even
is
find
in,
out, I
and then
think,
throw
until
that
like a
scanner
whole
nearby.
day
So
later or
hiding
so.
is going to be very, very limited for him.
Or I
Some
don't
teams
even
on
think
the
it was a whole
outskirts may
day
go
later. I
duos,
think like
just trying to go ahead and
somebody
get their first
from
drop
like
loop,
either
bring
the
it back.
team
Out goes the
or
scanner now, and now Bucky's position is
something
going to be
said,
revealed. And this is the
hey,
thing about contested
Veno
fights.
dropped you for
Sometimes
somebody
you're okay with
else,
letting
and
that solo
he
live,
was
but in
like,
this
oh,
situation,
word.
there's no shot. If they have an
And then
opportunity to take out Bucky,
fucking,
they're gonna let that one go to waste.
he heard
Yeah, they
that
have to. They
Higgs
have
was
to
dropped
allow,
too, so they
you know,
teamed back up
themselves
for a
to
bit.
take a huge lead over
For literally
Bucky
a
and really
day.
give them no chance to go to finals. Otherwise, this is going to be a problem that's going to come back around to visit them later in a finals lobby. So for Veno, for Agers, the option is very
Love you,
clear.
sis.
It's them versus Bucky and Cam all day today. They're going to do everything in their power to hold them back.
Gonna take a pause right now and see that there's no HP in either one of the guys' inventory here. So they have to kind of revert back on over towards that mending machine. They definitely have enough gold to get
I
some
felt
med
that.
kits, to get the chug jug.
Felt that
Definitely
one.
gonna have a wide selection at their disposal, but while they take this time, it's gonna allow for Bucky to try to figure out an escape plan here, as King and Praise also uncontested at Calamari Canyon. They're lurking outwards. They're an aggressive team, Monster, and they're already
Well,
starting
then
off
you might
game
want
one
to
in that same fashion.
turn down
It's
the
a very
stream
fun
because
duo
it's
right
about
here.
to
You
get
saw them
fucking
at the summit
chaotic
just
in a
popping
bit.
off, putting on performances. I mean, in the practice room, King was someone who was slowly and surely earning everyone's respect just based off of how good he is in these types of box fights, head-to-head environments. He tends to win his ones very much regularly against the other NA Central pros. And already flexing just that. Meanwhile, we have Skittles, Koi in here. They're kind of playing the zone right now in the chop shop. They pull the zone up towards this way, so they have a lot of time to work with. But again, this is kind of unfortunate, right? I feel like if you get the zone this early and you're playing Storm, you are not going to have enough damage.
Right. This motherfucker shouldn't be playing Storm right now.
We've already seen
What are
a
you
lot of
doing?
teams rotate
There's
in
nobody
direction.
around you.
Too many options here.
Is he doing the
Kugo finally
freaking
seen
no,
him
he's
still
swimming. I
rotate
thought
up
he was
from
doing the
cluster
new
coast.
strategy.
Just trying to figure out how he's still going to
The
get his duo
rotate
back
strategy
into it. A
that
lot of this
fucking
coastline
Aussie
monster is
Antics showed us
contested by either
yesterday.
split drops, or if you go up towards Golden Grove here.
Apparently the tubes,
Kinda playing this
the
as their
freaking
own.
tubes
They
at
claimed it all
Wonky
season
Land,
long since kind of thing, whether
you
it's
can like
contested or not,
actually like
don't stray away from
shoot
a fight.
them
And
or
that's why it's
knock
getting
them
kinda
and
dangerous
slide
here when
kick
teams
them all
try
the
to
way down
lurk
to
and
like
in, but the biggest
the
resource here, my
actual
teams are
water
looking here
around
for
the
those split drops
island
is
and
the
shit.
amount of metal
And if
here.
you just like singly like tap it,
Remnants of other
single
boxes
fire
from
tap
players
that
kind of
bitch
refreshing
a
and
couple of times
warming up their
with
material
fucking
counts.
rapid SMG,
Still
you
a
can
loose
start
solo
rotating
here,
around
though,
the
lurking
map.
inside. This is going to be helpful for Bugha, though, because this team's likely to be called
Everybody's
out
like, this is gonna be
first.
fucking broken. I was like, I don't
Braves
think
will be
anybody's
able to
gonna
kind of
actually
jump
use
on
it in
the
a
opportunity as they
finals
get
or
the extra
anything like
download
that.
of the information of where the teams are. For now, though, everyone's pretty patient here.
I would be fucking insane. Somebody literally
It's
tried
combined
doing
that
a
duo on
fucking
the
sky
outside.
base
gonna
in
win
game
this
5
one out.
for
Really trying to buy time here.
I think it was Central yesterday.
Just like we saw Kugo already swim north, it almost looks like Steely might be buying himself. Trying to do the
They
same
got
thing,
yeah,
follow
it
that path.
was they
Avoid
found the
potential
base,
danger
but
at the Grove.
they made it to
Kinda
second
see Kanata
place,
and
so
Sphinx.
it,
Very, very
we was
similar
like,
drops we
imagine
saw
they
yesterday
fucking
with
win
the
off
ARC
of that.
JoJo
That would have been
fishing at top
insane.
mountain. They have the benefit to kind of look down at either one of the contested fights at their disposal.
Oh,
Try to keep it
Kanata.
since it is
He's
very,
like
very
Clix,
early
I guess,
on.
one of the
Kind see
OGs.
base that they're set up,
Like
knowing that
Clix
most of the
and
teams on
Bugha.
the eastern side of the map are gonna have to
I don't know how
get
OG
into
though, but
Kanata had the bulk of the
said
ammo here,
he
too,
could have
Sphinx was
qualified, I
a little
think,
light.
for
We'll have to keep up together
the
here
World
shortly.
Cup
Meanwhile, more rotates coming through the Heat
stuff
Wave
that
Harbor.
fucking
See the B
Bugha won.
lineups. Kingaling finds
but
another
he
duo,
wasn't good
so
enough at the
again,
time, and I
Craze
was
and
like,
King just
alright,
kinda
at least
doing
you'd
their
be
thing right
honest.
now. Popping
Unlike
off,
other
finding
people.
points, flexing on the competition here. You saw the graphic, right? It said that there are 9 finalists, 9
Higgs,
champions.
what are you guys doing?
The
Is
most
this
of
your
any
tower?
heat in
You're
this
gonna get
particular heat.
chopped,
This is
bud.
by far a very competitive lobby to be going against.
Yep.
Yeah, you're seeing players like, Higgs and Curve in their play-ins, Monster, you kind of look at a lot of their stats. They got 16, not necessarily the best on the leaderboard,
What?
but 215
Where are you
eliminations,
going?
9 games. with
Wait,
10
wait, wait, wait.
plus
I know it.
eliminations or more.
I
They
think
have
I know
4
exactly
games
what
with
they're doing. They're
20
gonna
plus
go hit the
eliminations, one of
fucking
the
jump
highest
pad. I
in this lobby outside
have
maybe
a
Peterbot
feeling
and
they're gonna
Boyos.
go
It
hit
goes to
jump
show
pad.
when that switch gets flipped, they can turn it on, they can get aggressive, but they can also
Yeah.
have a slower pace game over towards Lifty Log. They
This
can
is
show
where
their
I
favor,
wish
they
the
can overstay
Flowberry
their
Fizz
welcome.
bottles
They have a
were
mending
in
machine,
the
which no other teams are
freaking
gonna
meta,
touch. So
because
right
if
now,
you
it
had
looks like game
that,
one looking sound for them,
you
just
could
like Reet and Cooper,
you could do a big
uncontested walking
rotation
ladder,
with
they
that
waste no time making
fucking
their way to the zone.
with that specific jump
They
pad.
have one of the stronger drops, of course.
Honestly, the jump pad that I have at
Consistency
my
is
spot,
reflective of the
I
loadout,
could
but
if I had
jumping with Veno,
Flowberry Fizz,
Pagers,
boom,
the hunt now
that rotation
to
would be
fight,
so much better.
find action, laid them
I could
to
stay at my
Craze
spot for a
and King.
while.
This is a tough battle here. I mean, we've hyped up King and Craze enough. This is about to be the point where they get to show us of whether or not what we said was all smoke and mirrors, or they really do have what it takes.
So
Pagers, Veno
you
kinda
want the
backing off here, looking
shockwave
to
effect to
almost get
go
themselves
off
situated a
first
bit more. King
and make
Craze
you fly
recognizing,
through
hey, this might be a
fly
really
through
good
it,
team.
and then
Look, they
you'll
kinda
actually like
back
fucking
off the
fly
machine here, go
the
back into the storm
100
as a safety
plus
strap.
meters that I always fucking fly.
There's no real reason to make some big risks early in this game, especially when it's success at your off-spawn fight. Didn't necessarily get both of those eliminations, but hey,
Well,
definitely progressing
that's the
in
thing
right
about
direction.
that's the
Back
thing
on
about
over
the
to
wonky wheel.
Battlewood, more
Yeah,
and more
I use a
teams come from the
shockwave,
north
and then
side of the map.
after
We're
I
looking Easter
land
edge. We're
onto
trying to
the
make your way
ground
on over.
afterwards
Think we can get
from
this
using the
slower,
wheel,
nice
I'll use
outside
another
side up the
shockwave
zone.
most likely.
We saw how contested the battle was
If I
right
have
out
it
of the
on
gate.
me.
Zeneto and his duo Zypta really haven't moved. They just parked that ship, and they have no intention of bringing that anchor back up.
Yeah, definitely.
That's why
They have this
I
entire
sit here. I'm like,
southern half.
I
Right? The
wish
battles
Wonky
themselves,
Land
so
wasn't super sweaty
so
when it
very
came to
much
tournaments and stuff, because like
situated right now. Take a look at the map.
I know that
many
spot so
teams
well.
playing the
I
outer skirts of
genuinely
the zone
actually
right
want to
now.
fucking land there, but with
Here
the
comes
amount of sweat
outer edge
and
congestion that's
fucking
gonna start taking
bullshit
place
that
here.
would
This is where
happen
things will
there,
get
yeah,
real
no,
interesting
I'm
here
fine
shortly.
landing where I'm
For
where
Zeneto,
I've
though, this
marked
duo has
up,
really not much to worry
and
about, but
I
now
know
that Surge has
the
revealed itself,
rotation
they're
already
eyeing
for
up this
it.
duo crossing them, and they're going to go for the shockwave play likely.
Yeah, this is kind of the mind games that Storm Surge plays. You're 90 above that damage.
That
threshold. It's
it-
kind of like, cool.
well,
I don't have to worry
It
about
is
anything
still
for
practice,
this
so it
zone.
doesn't really
But
matter.
as
I was
you
about to
progress in the
say,
game,
I
if
don't
you
want to
don't land any more
change
shots,
the
you will find yourself below
drops
that
by
damage
on me
threshold.
and
So
by
it kinda
duo,
leaves you
but it
with a
doesn't
choice.
really
Do
matter,
go
I
for
guess.
damage early where not too many players are kind of squished close together in a close proximity, or do I wait till later in the game where panic starts to set in
So
all around the lobby?
where's
Definitely decisions need to be made.
Sunken
Golden,
Shore
Ozone,
and then
contested by
Heatwave
folks like
Harbor?
Hanson,
That little
Rockland,
fucking hotel
push,
building, it like literally
not trying to
between
build to
them,
give away their
between
locations, trying to see if
Heatwave
anybody's
Harbor
short
and
by
Sunken Shores.
Yeah, this is a nice
There's
little push
there's a
lead,
little.
especially
It's
here
by
in
the soccer
outskirts
field.
of the zone, and little do they know they're about to get paid off. There's other duos working their way towards them.
Towards
here.
like the bottom of the
Zeely
map.
right beneath him. Now, do remember when we last saw Zeely, he was a solo, so these guys are moving with not much to work with. Oh gosh, and they open with a huge shot. Very smart by Golden to break the structure down.
What's
Zeely goes
going
down.
on?
There it is. He gets
Appreciate
rewarded. So
it.
I'm thinking they understand his team's under surge. That's going to be all the telling that they need here.
Yeah, that's just a huge signal. You don't
Yeah,
necessarily
no
see
more
it
smoky
in
on
game.
anything.
I know us kind of casting it, you see the players get like struck by
No
storm
more
surge. You
hit.
don't necessarily
good.
see it while you're in game. The only real clue is the audio of the shields cracking, or just like that, no knock, straight elimination, and it happens yet
Alright, I
again.
know it's
Both
game
of those
one,
eliminations get cleaned up, and how, just like
but
you
can we
said,
get a
they're
little
gonna be
interesting
rewarded
show
tenfold.
already?
Patience absolutely pays off for Golden and Ozone, and now they're going to see more and more opportunities with
Uh-oh.
other teams from outside of the zone making their way in.
Yeah, that was crazy. That team is keying them. They probably are also below the surge here. We'll see what ends up happening
Right.
there. Meanwhile, Zeneto, Zikta, they took too long to initiate the battle on the team that was on the outskirts. They find themselves by themselves now at the battle with
These
Woods,
dudes are gonna die.
Woods here. And look, they have to fight their way towards the rest
So that's
of the lobby
another-
right now. Finding themselves barely 40 above.
That
Seems like
no,
something
that
worked out in their
that would be
favor.
so generally
But
fucked.
either way, pressure is on them. This little opportunity they have right now to kind of reset, get back in the game, they shouldn't take it for granted. They need to be looking for activity.
No, I feel like the only sprites they would deadass allow is the Poyo one, the Vinny Jr.,
inventory. So they might be all fighting Danny
maybe,
above the damage
just
threshold, but they
maybe
know
the air sprite,
where it
but
stands, their
people would
loadout,
take
the amount of resources
advantage
they have, they're going
I feel like people would take advantage of it due to the fact of you can't get fall damage from it.
They're on the clock here. They have to go.
Which,
they have
honestly,
to go now.
I mean,
Craze
I
and King
would
is the
have.
only team in front. They're trying to spray the build, get the pre-edit in, but King and Craze denied that opportunity 2 consecutive times, getting more and more damage onto Zypta and Soneto without even moving a finger.
Yeah, this is tough spots for them to be in. They find Unreal Liana. Can they get in the box? It's not going to be enough damage if they get the body, but just like that, doesn't really matter. King and Craze timed their entry perfect off of that desperate team collapsing in, and they find themselves with even more
King
points now.
Craze.
7 eliminations, and we've barely touched the end game now. This is quite the performance for King and Craze.
That's just one of those moments, man, for King and Craze. They just make it into zone, no intention of fighting. They're the ones who actually get aggressed on for a second. And then when the dust settles,
Alright,
monsters, they get 4 bodies worth of loot.
There he is. I was about
Go
to
ahead
say,
and
where's he
convert.
at?
Progressive
There
this
he
game,
is.
Emoji does go
The
down.
motherfucking goats.
6 above the damage
Peterbot
threshold, so
and
this damage is
Pollo,
not necessarily
baby.
going to be a worry for Peterbot and Pollo, especially with their 2 eliminations here. It's more so about making it up the side of this mountain
They're not
or through
even
this
playing
game.
that aggressive.
This is really interesting. Another elimination now falling to Pollo's side.
Wait a minute.
Getting the last
I really
touch
hope
of
I didn't
damage
just
here before the surge actually
jinx
scores.
that, because
Pollo's
as soon
not
as I
quite
said
well.
that,
They've intentionally chosen to come
Pollo's
down
already
into
on the
this tunnel.
hunt.
They, of course, prefer to put themselves in a more advantageous spot, but Peterbot and Pollo looking pretty good right now. They just have to weather the storm, hopefully find some material count. They want to play this endgame out comfortably. Regardless, though, the way the kind of zone's playing out here, we'll be seeing them get active here
Gonna
shortly.
be
They
crazy.
know how to find eliminations. They already got 3. Just looking towards the side,
Uh-oh.
seeing Frenzy, seeing
Uh-oh.
this duo. They immediately go to work.
Knocked
Frenzy
one
gets the first
already.
one
There
going
goes
down.
Peterbot.
Clix is able to steal away that
Oh.
second elimination, but nobody's really closing the gap. It's still
I thought
too
he
much
was
of a
gonna get
risk so
another.
far for Peterbot and Pollo to try to dive on over and steal away that loot. But you can see the attempt is in the back of their minds. They know they got to go to zone. They know these opportunities will come as this game progresses.
They're smart. Look, they're not even going to go for the loot. They seem to recognize, hey, that's a little too risky if we go to the outskirts, right? It'll allow the server to single us out.
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
Peterbot's the smartest
on the
player
other
in
side,
the
jumps
fucking
their way
game,
up to
dude.
8 eliminations, taking a little
Smartest,
bit
the
of that prestigious
best.
high ground there.
Like,
But let's look
6
at who's gonna get
championships,
situated
baby.
first.
What do you-
Reed Cooper had the
what
high
do-
ground.
what do
Pollo
you
lost and
expect?
rotate here. It was going to be a tough one. We knew it, but they needed that material. They were pretty desperate for it. Just as they were working their way across, they got caught out.
No
here.
way
Meanwhile,
Pollo's
Clix is
already
wrapped around
dead.
The other side of the box here.
Uh-oh.
Peterbot might actually
Uh-oh.
make a really big play here.
Oh. I
And
thought
even
we were
more
about
so,
to have
see,
Peterbot
Raffles
versus
trying to put
Clix
down pressure
moment.
onto one and finds Pollo. Wasn't even his
Oh,
initial
we did.
target, but
They just
sometimes,
took
Mons, we know
fucking
you just
Pollo
gotta take
out.
what you can get, and you can see
That's
why
what happened.
Peterbot was so concerned with them on the other side of that wall.
No,
but as you see where
Peterbot's
the
just
zone
stuck
is
solo
going, right now
clutching.
we're slightly moving up towards the top of that mountain. If it goes towards the west, if it goes towards the east, we'll keep that one in play. Anywhere else, it'll gradually get easier for the lobby, but you have to be able to survive up until that point.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not even sure if we saw the conclusion of Veno Agers hunting down Bucky, who got away, so it seems like that's still an ongoing situation, but Veno's the one that is obviously making their appearance here in this endgame. I see Booga and Braid still standing. Clix and Rapid seem to be off to a strong start. Meanwhile, High Ground now gets sniped up by Veno. That's a key elimination for them. My gosh. Gets the Elam,
My
and now they
gosh,
get
like,
to
what,
rotate in
bruh?
time without taking any extra damage. Let's talk about a perfect turn of events for them.
Well, insane there, bud. Not gonna lie.
Trying to figure out how they even got up there.
Oh, wow.
Unnoticed,
Damn!
Just step by step, he
What the
climbed
f-
up the mountain.
No
Just
awareness
took out
whatsoever.
Cyclops. We saw Veno and Agers, one side of the high ground, on the other. Reed and Cooper probably reading that they
Reed and
did pull
Cooper.
zone. They immediately build up, trying to
Oh
keep
my
it.
god, every time I
A lot of
hear
extra
Reed
heals
and
in their
Cooper,
inventory,
all
but
I
in
can
the
think
8 zone,
about
39
is
builds
the
on Reed. You gotta
fucking
hope Cooper
famous
has more,
clip
'cause
of
right now it is looking a little light
NA
hold for the
versus
rest of the game.
NA,
Yeah,
Reed and
definitely.
Cooper
I mean,
versus
and I was just
Pollo.
gonna say, you know they're
And
gonna
then
have the
boom,
shockwave across,
fucking
right?
Pollo
Get
shits on both of
situated
them.
here for complete control. Someone looks to be contesting. I see Rapid down. Don't forget, Peterbot's still playing this as a solo right now as well. So, few big teams still surviving
shit,
here.
Clix is
now
playing
has
this
to play
solo
one out
too?
as a solo by himself as well. It's Braids on the other side of the wall alongside Booga. Clix, though, tries to fight his way into the Chug Splash. Definitely worth it. Meanwhile, here's Peterbot's POV. 4 Elans now has made his way to the new zone. He's just trying to download information here.
Well, Miss Vice President,
But
I'm gonna
these
be
are sometimes
honest.
the best players in the world. As
You
a
know
team,
my
it's
answer.
just a different freedom when you're a solo, not having to worry
You can
about
play
anybody but
Fortnite,
yourself. That's what we're seeing here.
or you could do what
Side
Toe
by
said,
side, Peterbot
and you
and
can
Clix,
join
same
us.
scenario. It almost
Or you
looks
could
like
go
two
put
different outcomes
practice
coming
in
out.
for
Peterbot
rivals.
just putting
I'm
full-on
not gonna
aggression
tell
onto
you
a
what
whole
to
nother
do,
duo, not
but I
CO2
think
back
you
down, but he
could-
takes too much damage there in that situation.
I know you.
Forces
I
to
think
stagger
you
himself
wanna. I
outside
think
of
you
the
wanna
zone.
play
Without any
Fortnite
shockwaves, it's gonna be tough for him
or
to find
watch
his way back easily.
FSCS with us.
This is crazy. Peterbot goes for the full HP play as he tries to fight his way to mid-ground layer, but he gets put down. Meanwhile, Veno and Agers are still going here. Veno leading the charge here, finding the knock. Agers gets the follow-up right behind him. They're now at 3 eliminations here. Players on all sides of their walls, but opted to play the ultimate low ground. Meanwhile, Crazy King are ELIT leaders right now at 10 eliminations and still running through the lobby here.
Then go get some
He has
practice in.
control the complete control
Fortnite's
actually, of
still
the
gonna
mid-ground
be
layer
here.
And then looking up.
That one
Seeing
kind of hurt me a
Peterbot
bit
still
to
lurking
even
around.
say.
We've seen it from
But
40
yeah.
builds to 2.
Anywho.
He's under pressure. King's gonna get dropped. Craze left by himself. Only 70 on the Chug Jug. No way for him to get back up to full HP or shield without an elimination. Meanwhile, Peterbot's gonna get the elimination onto King. Veno and Agers down below. They're going ahead and dodging all the chaos up above.
Yeah, listen, there's so many teams fighting their way through the mid layers because it went down, back down.
No
kind of
health.
Mountain. But with Veno dropping
Oh,
to the ultimate low,
they're gonna let him get
now
the chuggy
they're
off.
the first to take advantage of the teams
Dude,
trying to
Veno's
find their
going
footing
fucking
here.
insane.
And this is
He
working out
might
so
qual
well
off
with
of
the
this
high ground
game.
position, though. It's Booga versus Cooper. Booga ends up on top. Braids is still holding on, though, and they're trying to
Now, if
situate
there's a
themselves here, but it's costing
player
them
that I'm
everything. They
like
have no more
desperately
materials
praying
left.
for to
Yeah, you just gotta
fucking
hope that Braids has just enough
qual
for them,
at
trying
all
to pass them
times.
around,
I want
looking
Booga
down
to
could be their
qual.
only opportunity as
I already
Peterbot
know,
leads
like,
another
look at this.
track
Peterbot's
to
just
back,
going fucking
getting
stupid.
Both of those eliminations. Monster, we saw
Back-to-back
almost 0
eliminations.
builds a couple of seconds ago. My, how time
He said,
flies.
"Hey,
Now he's
y'all
going up
remember
to the high
what
ground.
Poyo
We
was
know he's gonna
doing?
contest
Watch
it
this."
all. 1v2 situation. He's trying to bring him
Oh,
back down to
No,
reality. As he
leave
drops
Booga
down,
alone,
realizing it might
Pete.
not be worth the risk to use all these builds for a fight.
He went,
That is not going my
he
way.
went up for a
Peterbot
height
is
and
just
was like,
different,
I'm gonna
right?
get you
see
guys.
them recognizing that he can go for something big there. Meanwhile, Peterbot versus Clix.
Nice.
Clix didn't want anything to do with that solo player. He had no idea it was Peterbot, but one thing was certain. It was
Oh.
danger nearby, and off he goes.
That was
I
a
like this
fucking
play by
Pete
Clix,
versus
just trying to
Clix
stay
moment.
alive here
Okay.
and earn as many places
They're literally just-
possible. This is a true clutch for both
Peterbot is
Booga,
literally
Clix,
underneath,
Veno, all
right
these guys
behind
still
Clix.
holding on here
That's
in the
the
lobby.
funny part.
Peterbot's still hunting right now, though.
Oh, it's gonna happen.
Clix
It's gonna
gets
fucking
away,
happen.
bags Cooper
Oh,
another solo
wait.
on a different layer, and they are playing out of their minds here.
This game one is
Pete.
proving that prime time.
No!
Prime time play.
Oh,
Peterbot
I was gonna
finally
say if he
gets
fucking
shut
lives,
down. His
he's
run
gonna
has come to an
fucking
end, but at
kill
what cost? One of the
Clix.
duos just got separated. Jez and Jerem goes down. Five's left by himself. That is because of Clix and his aggression. Kanata does
Wait a
it again.
second.
Takes out the other part of that duo. A lot of these solos are
Hold
doing a
up.
lot of the heavy
Clix
lifting. The
fans,
duo up
we're
above,
still
they could
alive,
smooth sail
baby.
their way into a victory royale.
Listen, no pressure here for Clix or Kanata. They've done enough at solos. They pushed their way to the end game. Booga and Braids have the pressure on their shoulders
too
to
bad.
perform here.
We
Braids
got
falls
top
first,
4,
but
dude.
it's okay.
Holy
Booga was
shit.
there to back him up in the end there, Jacob.
What did
Oh, yeah.
Kelly say on day one? In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. No, he is awake. He is
I'm gonna
roaring.
fucking
He is
say
now
it.
punched his
Fourth
ticket
place right
to the
there.
FNCS
Yeah, nah.
Major
Yeah,
2
nah.
Grand Finals.
Maybe we back. He just fucking solo clutched all the way
I
to
was just gonna
4th
say,
place.
Booga! That's why you can never count out the lion. That's why
He's
you
in
never
3rd
count
place
out Booga.
off of
That's
that,
why
too.
Every time we look at Booga, ooh, like Kelly said, ooh, this guy's so washed. Ooh, shut up, you don't
Guess
know
who's right
anything.
behind
Are
him,
you
though?
a lion? I don't think so. No, Kelly was.
Ooh.
Kelly, oh my gosh.
Oh. Crazy stuff there, Kelly.
It's
But
gonna
yeah,
be
I mean, listen,
fucking
Booga and
insane. This
Braids,
is what
they're
I'm talking
jumping into
about.
action.
A
Team number
fucking
1,
movie.
How in the heck?
Clix
have
just
they
got
done it?
fucking
Kind of returning to
2nd
the
or
big
3rd, no,
stage here.
3rd or 4th
Listen,
off
this
of
is
that
exactly what
match.
we wanna see
Put
from
him in
Booga and
3rd place.
Braids. Obviously, we wanted to see them make it to the grand finals, but with
So
the
yeah, I would
statement
assume. Yeah, I
to
would
be
assume
made
that
as
is.
well,
Yeah,
right? If you come
3rd
out
place.
swinging, if you come out winning, game number 1. I feel like it just adds a little bit more emphasis, if you know what I mean. And I kind of talked about
Look
it
at
the last
motherfucking
time
Booga
that we have
calling
unfortunately
for
seen
fucking
Booga
finals
himself
next
in
week.
an
He
FNCS
said, I
finals,
still
which
got it
chapter
in me.
6, major
I
number
can
3.
qualify.
Unfortunately, we didn't get to see him at Global Championship.
He's the new
We didn't get to see him
qualifying
at Major 1
warrior.
finals, and we did not get to see him at the summit. So that's why it's been a long time since we've
Oh,
seen Booga himself.
oh.
That's why those conversations
Every
were
time a
starting
game,
to
every time a
rile up.
fucking
Oh,
game
man, how
ends.
good is Booga? This is what
Every
he
time a
needed. He
game
needed a
ends, dude.
statement to be made here in Heat. Obviously, we want to see him continue on with a performance like this in the grand finals, but I'm really liking what I'm seeing here, Z.
Dude, it looks so good. It's crazy. You guys heard.
Okay,
you didn't
so
hear
I'll be
Kelly's
honest,
just
Peterbot and
crazy joke. He
Poyo
just
are
got me
in
laugh so
a
hard.
streamer
But I agree, man. It's
Faxities
crazy to
fucking
see them. And the
Discord
fact
right
that
now.
we
They are
saw
definitely
so
like
many
what you
different
said.
fights
They're in
there,
their
like,
own
the
channel
fact that they
right now.
jumped up, like, we saw Cooper and Reed on the hype.
But
and he was
after
like,
like
bro,
every
I'm
fucking
going
match,
up there.
if
I'm going
something
into
like
overdrive.
crazy
I'm
just
taking the
happened,
fight
they'll
to
go
them,
join
and
the
then
main
they
Discord
walk
call
away with
and
a
because
win
they
in
know
game
Faxities
number
live and they'll
1.
start talking their
I
shit.
mean, dude, this looks so good.
It's
Kelly,
every
are
fucking
you
time.
there?
And it's always Peterbot too.
Sounds like you are.
The mouth that I call Booga washed. Please do not say that. I was not calling
never
Booga
said that.
washed.
Exactly, don't say
I was
Booga's
saying that
washed.
other people were calling him washed. But regardless, congratulations to Booga and Braids.
That's right. Guys, we're going to go to a break. When we return, we're going to take a look at some of the unfoldings of game number 1 by taking a look at the standings. So, we'll see you right after this.
Dude, that solo clutch. Both fucking Peterbot and Clix was doing some pretty great solo clutch right there. Oh my god. Yeah, we can't let this happen, dude. Somebody's gotta contest Peterbot, dude. Are we just gonna actually like let him get Mythic AR fucking all 5 games? I'm pretty sure Harley Quinn does not go anywhere else around the map. I don't think any of those newer bosses go anywhere, if I'm mistaken. I'm actually kind of, if I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of surprised fucking Peterbot didn't go contest for the fucking Mythic pistol, the Ranger one. Fucking Poison Ivy's Ranger pistol. He wanted that. He wanted it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Not literally, because yesterday I was playing and I kept sitting there and I was like, dude, what the fuck is going on? I could not shoot the pistol like at all. Like good, I could not hit shots whatsoever. And then I kept just going around fucking with my tweak zone shit. And then literally by the end of the fucking night, I was like lasering people again, and I was like, finally, dude, fucking finally, dude. I don't know if it was just because that, yeah. I was doing that for like the first week that I heard the Tweak Zone stuff was out, and I was like, honestly, if it actually can help you hit a little bit more shots, let me fucking do a little something with it. And I found a good setting that I like. Damn, no schedule yet. Oh yeah. That's what I always get. Oh yeah, for sure. Back paddles on controllers will help with like any fucking game. Like this
Welcome back,
controller,
Cornet,
if
man,
I
to the
actually wanted to.
NCS. Game number 1
Well,
goes
currently
the
I
way
only
of
use it
Bugha
for
and Braves.
Fortnite
That's
and
right, let's
Marvel
just stop
Rivals.
questioning Bugha
I don't
on
think
everything,
there's
okay?
another
He's
game I
Mr.
would
World
actually
Cup.
use it
Don't
for.
forget it. All right, though, a lot
I've
of,
thought
man,
about,
so much
like,
action
if I
happened
did
in
play
that last
Call
game
of
with so many
Duty,
duos
yeah, I
we're just
probably would use
used
it for
to
that.
seeing, or players that are, remember, we've seen a massive swap up. It kind of feels like sometimes, Kelly, every duo looked at each other like, hey, everybody move one tier left, and then that's the new
no.
duos. But in that last game, obviously, as we start to take a look at the standings, we see a lot of names here in this top 10 by themselves. Man, also a reminder, if we get a victory royale, we go to next week's finals. That means we're not going to be seeing Bugha and Braids anymore today. Look forward to them next weekend. Or we need to end in the top 10 win consistency, which is basically the top 15. Kelly, Kanata Sphinx, currently first place.
Look at that, Kanata and Sphinx after that last game, and we saw that Kanata was a solo, but I feel like everyone at the end of that game, besides Bugha and Braze, was a solo.
That's why you can't really complain,
Peter,
but
and then of course
I guess if you're
Kanata,
rich,
though,
yeah, I
it's those
get it.
eliminations that they were able to
Like
garner on
Bugha
the
and
low
Clix
ground
placing
because
super
there was
low,
just
they
so
want to
much
stack that
chaos
cash.
going on. However, I will say we saw what I would consider a
Peterbot
more typical
wants to
high
stack
ground
that cash,
than
not
what
get
we've
low
seen
amount.
in heats for days 1 and 2, Vivid.
I mean, everything was actually going so crazy for Aegis and Veno there. Obviously, we did see them kind of steal away the high ground on the back foot of Veno, kind of making a little bit of a sneaky play up there to kind of steal it away is what it pretty much felt like. We're going to take a look at it right here. Just kind of walks up and is like, hey, by the way, I want high ground. Thank you very much. But after this moment, I mean, if you take a look at the material count and how they were kind of doing with their loadouts, they were doing kind of fine. But you fast forward just a little bit and they're no longer up on the high ground. So they actually opted to potentially go ahead and give that one up. But after this, yeah, I thought they would kind of look to control the high ground, but they drop all the way down to the lower ground. Of course, they do end up having a good game, but it feels like they could have potentially given up that win condition here in game number 1.
Man, it looks, I'm shocked. I'm like reliving
Not
this game.
anything. Yeah,
And
they're just
I
still
look at my
talking about
notes,
what
I've written
happened.
so
Talking
many
about
things.
how
We talked
everybody
about
thought
Kanata there and
Veno
Sphinx
was
in
about
kind
to
of in our
take
first
over
place
that
for the
match.
moment.
Like,
Let's
yeah,
look at second place, which is
that ass
Clix
thought he
and
was gonna
Rapid.
win that.
Guys, the
He had
fact that they
potential
got
to.
third place, Clix being solo in this game, given how chaotic that was. I mean, Kelly, I'm liking this duo right now. I can't lie. I feel like Clix has a bit of, you know, confidence that I feel like maybe he's been missing.
Yeah, that momentum has definitely been picking up. It was a little bit lacking when they first formed Clix and Rapid. However, as we've seen the Div Cups and as the season has progressed, there has definitely been a level of confidence and synergy that the two of them have been developing. And honestly, I think the biggest thing that we could have seen right there was Clix coming out with the solo. Obviously, because he is the most popular Fortnite streamer in NAC, if not the world, a lot of people like to put targets on his back. So for Clix to be able to come out in game number 1 as a solo and show up the way that he did is going to allow him to kind of prove to everyone that there's a reason that it's Clix and Rapid, not Rapid and Clix.
Let's go ahead and talk about that top 3 in consistency. I mean, Kanata,
Exactly. Clix and Rapid, not Rapid and Clix.
Solo clutch from Peterbot himself. I mean, you know, just we like to talk about the consistency of duos, but for right now, towards the top of the leaderboard, it has been all about the solo performances. We're gonna go ahead and take a look at it quite soon. I think it was actually Clix and Rapid that ended up taking out Pollo on the back foot of Peterbot, and Pollo trying to make a little bit of a rotation here. So we will see Pollo go down in just a quick moment. But yeah, I mean, Peterbot kind of reminds everybody. I won't lie. For some reason, I should say for some reason, for good reason, the focus of this duo has kind of shifted to Pollo being kind of like that star player on this team. But Peterbot reminds us that it's like it's both of them simultaneously. At a moment's notice, either one of them can have that pop-up performance, can kind of have that solo clutch to make sure they stay towards the top of the leaderboard. And that's why they're so scary as a duo.
I love it. And I mean, respect to Peterbot, right? In that situation, he overdrives up. And I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
This is kind of crazy. Takes one shot, misses, and goes, you know what? Maybe this isn't the play. And then completely disengages. Like, man. You know, I just love to see Peterbot's like mind moving and then how he reacts. Like, so crazy. Guys, I'm getting word though. Game 2 is ready. I'm ready to jump back into the action. Casters, are you?
I'm ready to jump back into the action.
100% ready for
Oh,
sure.
and
I know
then we
coming
still
into
talking to
today,
people
Monster,
like,
we
"Get the
knew there
fuck
was a
outta
certain
here."
level of excitement to expect, but out of game one, early, you even had King and Craze felt like they spawned in with 6 eliminations.
Yeah, and you saw them still way up at the top of the standings based off their eliminations alone, ending with 60 points earned, over 10 elims, which is crazy. So more than half of their points basically through just eliminations alone there. Jacob, talk about a performance.
Yeah, and I've obviously seen throughout the 2 days already, these solo clutches play a huge impact to being able to not have that desperation game 5 where you need a victory royale. It's going to keep my eyes peeled on that. And when you look at some of the damage stats from game number 1, Peterbot, Veno, King, top 3 in terms of overall damage. And then you have Booga, who already qualified with that
Oh, I
last
heard
game
the
and
bus.
leaves a drop spot open. Who's going to take that drop, if anybody? Let's find out.
Well, with game 2 spinning up, I do want to highlight the broadcast made Veno look so good in that last game. Every time we jumped in, it was like we didn't miss a beat on his action. You just saw that he was navigating that low ground so effortlessly, and it almost seemed like no one wanted to go all the way down there. They didn't know what was going on, but either way, they pushed through very well. This is a bigger problem for them, of course, to worry about, right? You see how the drops actually played out. Bucky and Cam go straight down for their side of the map. They seem to be getting their weapons first as well, which is really interesting because that can go either which way. But in the end, Veno and AJ have enough time here, right? They're giving them too much time, I feel like, to get situated and then take the fight on their terms.
100%, and I think that's just a little bit of something they're going to have to learn as the game progresses. And they're going to have to start to act quick as a team like Veno and Agers. Once they get enough points where they feel like they qualified, who knows what type of animals we'll see then. It's Peterbot Pollo, business as usual. We saw this in that last game. They landed at their drop spot. Pollo does stay in the POI. Peterbot does tend to try to go for that Warforged Mythic AR. This time around, I'm not sure if it actually did spawn there. We'll see if he gets his inventory later. But I talked about Golden Grove, Booga, and Braids.
But what the hell?
Will not be in the rest of today's action because they're already in the major 2 finals.
I look at that and I instantly almost wanted to unmute and be like, dude, that looks like almost all the white boys in my town.
Contested across the map in general. It is no surprise right now that with Booga falling this early, a named POI is going to get sniped up right away. I mean, you have a lot of action here. You even have some relatively solid players like Tsunami's Amplify and Laura's here. Very, very stand-up individuals. They were before kind of taking that outskirt. We saw them lurking on that other team fight, but I guess they're doing the math and say, hey, why fight for scraps so we can fight for the whole POI?
What's that dude's name? Booba or Bubba?
Test something, make it worth it if you win, but when 4 different teams have that same idea, kind of turns into a slugfest.
no.
Punches being thrown around. Bubba trying to use the shockwave to get a little bit of advantage on the
We're gonna
Amplify.
call you
Cracks the
15.
shield. He's trying to go ahead and figure out where that elimination's at. But you can see he's running
Boob.
out of SMG ammo. Does not have a shotgun and 0
Bubba.
when it comes to those materials.
Yeah, one player doesn't have mass, the other doesn't have ammo. This is a tough spot to be in. Amplify is going to be the first to fall there, unfortunately, and they're getting hunted down. And I had high hopes for Loris. He did get a knock there, so anything can still happen. He still has a couple of shields to work with, but with no material count, desperation kicks in. They get hunted and found out.
Pooed on.
Just like that, those 2 fall. Now the RGN duo has arrived here. They're looking to clean up house.
Slip and slide their way into that box.
Literally,
Good damage on Cyros is weaving in and out of these boxes.
They're over here like, bring that ass back here, boy.
So many of these players either got eliminated or kind of disengaged already, so it's basically a full target on your back until you're just eliminated out of the game altogether.
I think I'm gonna be the one to say it.
They went ahead and took an opportunity.
Take these overdrives out and then
Well played
replace
for them. They
it
didn't get a
with
bulk of
the
points, but
normal
they got a few.
shockwaves because I think we all kind of want the actual shockwaves back.
On what Rapid brings to
we
this
miss
duo.
we really miss ripping through
Discounting
fucking
Clix's
builds.
ability to perform in last game, he really just showed up. It's not often I feel
Now,
like we see Clix
I'll
really
be
come out
honest.
strong in an initial
Yeah.
game like that. But
Now I'll be
I love what we're
honest.
seeing.
The
I'm
only
thinking that
real
maybe that
reason
pro
we
am just
like
kinda
the overdrive
broke
effect
his
is
mentality
for
a little
the
bit, right? It's,
actual
the weight off
fact
his
that you don't
shoulders.
actually
He's
have
feeling
to
good now. He's playing a
shockwave
little
and
bit
still
more
have
freely, a little bit
to
more lax.
try to use movement or whatever. No, you have like a
That comes
solid
in
15 seconds
how
before the
relaxed
effect
Rapid
runs out,
is
I
as a
believe.
IGL. I think he
10 to
understands
15
mistakes
seconds
happen
at
in the course
least.
of the game of Fortnite. It's just about how you react and handle those mistakes. Clix still lurking around. You see the pre-edit
Come
coming
on,
in.
go.
That's going to be the first wall being taken. They're trying to push him back further and further. This
What
is where
are
they do
you
have to
doing?
be careful, because when a fight gets chaotic,
Clix.
sometimes mistakes do tend to happen. But that team that they're going up against fully disengages,
Yeah.
going underneath, one way in, one way out, and that's where
Dude,
Clix have to make
Stasis
the
said
decision
it
to
so
disengage
many
because it's not worth
times.
their time.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that was sick though. Setting up the pre-edit like that, making the call to go for it. The timing was almost impeccable, but all good. Rapid in Clix, end up disengaging, kind of getting back to the
No,
drop.
there's I
See how this
don't
ends up
know.
playing out for
In
them.
pubs, yes,
Not
I
sure if
think
they
there might
actually
be
got
a sprite
real
chest and
damage
a
there, so
rare chest.
Still
And then there's
gonna
like
have
lots of
uphill
fucking
battle
heals
to work
down there. I know
against.
that for a
Meanwhile,
fact.
Diego, Khaki,
Um,
disengaging from their fight as well.
I might be thinking of the wrong spot, but I'm pretty sure that's the spot that has the little
See you in
fucking
the
shield
minimap with just, like, a
fucking
lot of
pool
attention
thing that you can just sit in
over
and
towards
heal
the
up.
Battle Woods, the surrounding area as well. We
Yeah.
don't necessarily know. It's very, very early to see where the zone is beginning to pull, but typically when a lot of the early game teams start to pull in one direction, you can see where they have their minds at. King and Prey, he's lurking around yet again, waiting for what looks like
Oh my
Weapon
God,
to try to
that-
make a mistake, refarm the tree. There goes King. Big shots being fired off, essentially dropping him down to just a sliver of HP already. Now Craze comes in to crash the party. They get their first elimination here. And this is where we're seeing the difference between them and some of the other teams in the lobby. You know, they just go and build their surge bases. They trade for tags.
They
And
got
they
the
overstay
most
their welcome in
damage
the
right
zone.
now.
King and Craze is looking
crazy.
like last chapter.
Honestly,
or last
I
duo
don't
where Peterbot
doubt
and
it.
Koyo were just
I think
WQing
it's-
the lobby to get those surge. That's what King and Craze are
It
looking
might have
like
been
right now.
Craze
Yeah,
that I
playing it
keep
like a pub
seeing,
game,
but
playing
he
like a
keeps
cash
hitting like
drop,
max
fluid on
damage
the
fucking
move, looking
pump
for
shots.
action
I'm
on the
not
go.
gonna lie.
And it's working out really well for them.
Dude, did
You know,
they
it
really-
plays in so well into their play
These
style
motherfuckers
because,
literally
again,
have two.
King was putting players
These
down in
motherfuckers
set
literally have
lobbies when
two
even,
fucking
you know,
buildings.
circumstances.
No
I mean, you send them on the
fucking
run,
shit. Oh
all
my
of a
God.
sudden now that
Yeah,
little
'cause that's
advantage,
gonna
right, having
fucking
to ambush
make it.
that play, it's really hard to take him down essentially when he has that advantage over him.
Yeah.
Especially with how quick he can maneuver around. See Zusto, Malcolm trying to go ahead and take advantage on one. Almost looks like you can see what happened. A reboot really gave away their position.
Oh my
noise.
God. You wouldn't hear
Kinda gives up
anybody
the thought of,
until
hey,
foot.
one of those guys
Oh
will
my
respawn
God.
again.
End
Possibly only
end games
3
would be so
builds,
fucking
no
diabolical.
real weapon reason why you get them, and that's
Oh
why
my
you see them
God.
chasing on over towards that solo.
Yeah, I was gonna say the fact that Mark's Zusto knows he's got a huge advantage. There it is, the Storm does the rest for him.
Oh,
That's just
fucking
enough damage,
Delulu
but
FNCS
Malcolm
mode. Nah,
Zusto
that's
out.
diabolical to even
Actually
fucking
ran out of-
think of.
Yeah, heals here for the time being, so Zusto's gonna hold in the body there. He still has the siphon to come. Luckily, the duo ends up leaving the drop.
No, if it was up to
Could've
Toes,
made
he'd
that
be
really
like, I'm
bad, but all-
canceling the solo season, and it's gonna be full for Delulu, and it's gonna be a Delulu solo or duo season. Fuck it, make it a trio season.
That Reed and Cooper are kind of ready for whatever gets thrown their way. You know, they played a divisional cup and things didn't necessarily happen the way they wanted to at Wonky Land. And since that day, I have not seen anybody play as many off-spawn practice games as Reed and Cooper. Doesn't matter who the competition is. They just
Yeah,
want to make
Reed
sure they
and
get
Cooper
as many
defended
reps
Chicken
as possible
Land.
underneath their belt. So their team in
What the
today's
f- oh,
lobby,
I
I wouldn't
thought that's
necessarily
like he
agree
was
with
not
contesting,
even
but hey, sometimes you just got to play your
standing on
game out.
anything. But
You see
no,
where the
he
zone
had the
is
damn
pulling.
stare
Very,
edited.
very familiar to last game, Monster.
Yeah, definitely. You know, just
Like,
on the
look
top
at all
level,
those
I mean,
teams just
super
in
fan of
Storm
them both,
still.
Just their personalities. I think they match each other really well. So I expect, again, Reed to continue to be that sleeper person who just performs really well, right? It almost stays out of
Veno's
the
got the
conversation.
burst
sneaks
AR
into
and
top
gold
3s and
pump.
5s.
Nice, nice.
Either way,
Come
though,
on, Veno.
Veno and
What you
Ager's
got? I see the
activity
5x in
has
your name. Is that because
continued
Clix put
to
the
stay
1x?
up.
Hell yeah.
They already have 2 eliminations.
Definitely got to show them what
mind
you got.
So this is
Although it's
This is
kind of
just
shitty you
icing
got
on the
those
cake at
after
this
you
point.
got, or after you left Clix.
Yeah, game 1, Bucky was able to escape off the drop, survive a little bit longer to play that game out just a little bit. This time around, they're able to win that off-spawn fight
Nah,
convincingly.
that's the thing about Clix.
See
He's
where
played with so many fucking
the regulars
champions,
not really backing
and
down
he
from this
has
fight.
yet
They
to
were the
win
ones that
an
took
actual
most of that
fucking
damage early on.
FNCS
And now
still.
they have the high ground over a team like Veno and Agers.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When I saw Veno and Aegis kind of taking control of the tower, I was like, all right, that makes sense. But then to see him shockwave over, I was like, oh, you got a lot of heart to do that. Meanwhile, Rhea and Cooper's kind of doing their thing on this side. Look at this, a fresh set of eliminations and so much loot to choose from. This is like a mega pickup. Unfortunately, it's outside the storm, so they're not going to be able to do much with it.
Yeah, just kind of cap off what they're missing. Go right back on over to Wonky Land. The zone
Now,
is relatively close.
real
to where they
talk,
can
I
use
wonder
that
if
combination of
anybody's
the
actually
Shockwave
trying
and
to
the
split
cover
Wonky
distance
Land so
quick.
they can get
This
the
is how they
back
were able to
cave.
pick up those
But I'm gonna be
eliminations. They
real,
went
if you're
from
trying to get
actual
the back
POI
cave,
Wonky Land, probably using
that's
that
the
wheel,
most.
closing the difference with the
Besides
outskirts,
the
just taking advantage of the
materials,
team who probably got caught off guard.
you got shit loot in there.
Yep, that's how it goes sometimes. You can't let your guard down, especially when someone's got the ability to rotate like that. Meanwhile, look at Boji here. Still has chugs to work with, so you have some heals, but I'm gonna go with
That's
the
another
med kit
reason
first,
why I
right?
don't land fucking
I like this
Wonky
play,
Land,
trying to
because
reserve the chugs,
if I
of course.
did, I'd probably be forced to land Bat Cave, and I don't like the Bat Cave for that
Especially
reason
when
that,
you gotta
yes, I'll be
realize,
good
you know,
with
you
mats,
just got
but I
off a
won't have
fight,
no
you got an
fucking actual
elimination.
weapons.
Chances of being able to go back to Heatwave Harbor to visit that mending machine, probably slim to none. Probably not worth the risk either, so they're just going to keep it moving with the elimination and the loot that they just got. Waste no time trying to get to the zone, coming in from the south side of the map, and that's where it could tend to be a little bit more stacked, the south and the eastern edge, where most of the lobby will begin to come in from. But this is also a team, Skittle, Cayenne, that you noticed in the last game, landing over
Hey, you're
towards
just
the
running
chop
back
shop.
and forth.
There's not
Are
going to
you
be a lot
good?
of teams that rotate around this area until later on in the game. They just have to be above the damage threshold.
Has to be.
Yeah, with no elims.
Thank you
hard
for the
to tell where
refresh,
they
E-Rock. I
stand for the
appreciate
most
it.
part. Take a look at this. It's
See,
a
oh,
rotate
they are
going on
doing it.
here for
They are
where
using the
Cooper-
strat.
Ooh.
Shooting
I remember seeing this. So the trick to this is, right? So if you guys want to try to do this at
Yep,
home, you gotta
yep.
like
You
pickaxe
just
or
barely-
use
'cause,
the rapid
the
fire
fucking tubes
SMG
have, like,
to get
I
that
think-
out of the mini game, right?
Oh,
and instead
what
of
is
pickaxing
it? I
the
think they
reason
got,
why I
like,
use the rapid fire SMG
1,200
because it deals the least
fucking,
amount of damage to the
durability
flotation
to it,
device.
so yeah,
It'll
if
literally
you-
bring you
uh-oh.
across the map like you see Reet and Cooper do, probably less than a minute. And this is something that kind of blown up on social media within the last couple of days. So Reet and Cooper really putting all the community's theories to the test.
Yeah, I saw someone talking about it. They were like, "Wait a second, what is this?"
That's a
Those are some
W
random
rotation
team, right,
strat
that
for
discovered,
sure.
Like a really cool tactic.
That's why I
All
was
of a
sitting
sudden
there and
now,
I was like, is
of course,
anybody
it's getting
gonna
adopted
actually
into
use it?
the competition
And
here.
then boom, we
Nice little
see
fight for them. Free
Cooper
med kit.
and fucking
Well, I got
Reet do it, and
Canadian,
I'm like,
Common Sphinx,
hell
Canada
yeah.
in the building here.
Even
It's
better.
very dangerous. Not sure what
Oh, yeah,
their
they
game
definitely
plan is
did.
currently. Okay, just seems like this is a pit stop on the way as they have the vending machine here.
right?
No matter what they see here, Reet and Cooper probably crouched down. They know the risk.
You know
any
damn well they're in
vending
the
machine
call.
possesses,
Yeah.
especially this late in the game where we moved from 4th zone to 5th zone. But
You know
Sphinx on
damn
the
well they're
whole
sitting in their
other
cars,
side, not
sitting
really
there
trying
like,
to lock down
oh
the
shit,
map.
this is
So Reet and
working,
Cooper
this is
gonna be able to
working.
Kind of hold that position to themselves, but they got to be a bit quick here in this situation. It did go from a 1-tick zone to a 2-tick zone, and most of this lobby, as you've seen,
You need
they've
to get out of
spent
storm
it
then.
deep within the zone, so they got to
They're
hurry
just
up
gonna
before
turn into a
they start to
5-tick
go ahead and take that
next.
storm sickness warning.
And you don't want to use all them
Definitely,
heals.
you see there. They find that extra chug. They take advantage of just trying to cap off to the best of their capabilities. But the 2-tick is just so brutal. Even when you're in the storm for this little bit of time, already it's going to cost them at least a full med kit. Now you have Kanata Sphinx.
I
with
get
same
the,
problems.
I get,
Koyo
I understand it.
has
The
duo
reason,
right on their heels as
and
well.
I tried
Sphinx and
explaining
Kanata
it
gonna just
when
face down here
everybody
because they found themselves
tells
too
me
close
like,
out
get
to
out of
one
storm,
heal
get out of
instead.
storm. If it's a 1-tick, I'm going
necessarily
until
the
it
worst
turns
play,
into a
especially, you know,
2-tick.
experts,
I'm not
you fight
leaving the
inside of
storm.
zone like this.
I can take a
Sometimes
total
you
of
end up in a no-win
600
situation
damage
where
from
even
the
if you win
fucking
the
storm.
fight, making out is going to be near
As long as
impossible.
I have
Continue to
heals.
look around a lot of the action around the
Now,
map.
the
You can
other
see the
thing,
solo clutch
if
points from game number 1,
I-
how it's really impacting the
What's-
leaderboard. Most of those teams landing in and around.
Don't
the
be
top
too
5
deep in.
after
Don't be
those
too
solo
deep
clutch
in the fucking
performances.
storm.
And that's got to be a boost of confidence for all
That's
of the
another
duos,
thing. Don't be too deep
specifically
in storm
Rapid.
if you're gonna play storm.
Try to boost his confidence right now with Clix.
Like, look
with
at
or
Clix
without
and
him in the game,
Rapid
you know,
right
his
now.
IGL
They're
prowess,
perfect right
even
now
if
if they
he's
wanted to
eliminated,
keep
can
playing
still play a
storm.
role in
But
Clix solo
the fact
clutch.
that it's a 2-tick
See
right
how
now,
good of a
they
job
definitely don't
do
want to
as
be in
well,
it.
Being able to rotate and maintain that momentum. Really optimizing each and every shockwave like that was perfect.
Mhm.
Small find there too, but look at this Higson curve. Nice little elimination there. It's going to end them up with some points, and this is what happens when you're.
Oh
the
yeah,
fastest
because there's no
person in
reason
outlook.
that
The
they're gonna
warnings
be
can
in
tell
zone
Kanata.
still.
He's
Like,
actually
why are you why
195
Storm?
below.
Why are you still
This
in
is a
Storm?
very tough
Like,
spot to be
you
in
got
after
you got
such
me
a
some more
strong
heals.
First game. Luckily for him,
I'll
he
fight
does
you
have
for
that
them
cushion,
heals.
and he may not be out yet. Okay, as I was gonna tee it up, I was like, it's not looking too good. Creon's gonna end up with the
I'll be like,
elimination.
I got the
for
guy,
sure.
but
Wait
GG.
for them.
Hopefully they can go ahead and kind of figure out what went wrong. Very
Shit,
similar
there was a
zones from
fucking-
game 1 to game 2.
There was a time last
Obviously,
night
this one around
I was
here in the
being
6-7,
held
we
in
are moving a
fucking
little bit more
Storm,
towards the south.
and me and my duo
Short
were playing
celebration,
fucking
though, for
ranked.
Higgs and Curve.
He
They get
died.
that one elimination
I
you
think
were talking
we
about,
died
and
off,
immediately
or he
become
died off
the
spawn
target of the
because
lobby,
he went
but
to
only
the
for a
soccer
short
field to
second
try to
until we
loot
start
up,
rotate on
and
out. I think they're learning just like
literally it
everybody
was
else.
the
You don't
worst
wanna be one
fucking
of the
moment
last
ever
teams to try and
because
make it there. You don't wanna
both
be one
of
the
us
first
teams like
either,
stood
giving
still
up an
for a solid
opportunity to try to
second,
continue
and
connecting
I
shots.
know all
Yeah,
four
too
of
many
us
teams
was
got
like,
that little
oh,
bit of
hello
natural
there.
elevation right there. And they're going to be targeting all
Because
the
I
fresh
definitely
points.
out loud was like, oh, hello there.
Here. Do the same thing like the other teams, trying to keep themselves protected, but Boyo gets rolled up on. Peterbot's
And
here to
fucking
back
he
him
got
up. And a
shit
quick turn
on,
of
and
events right there
then
for one
I
team. Make it
fucking
for
left for
another
a
as
second.
well. What is happening?
Look at
This
that,
is like the
Mythic
spider's
AR
web.
game 2.
They're catching everyone coming through.
And there's just
How many
another one
eliminations?
from
3?
behind. Yet again, they're just pouring in
Yeah, no, they
one after the next,
Oh,
after the next.
now-
And Pete is
now
just
they
taking
need
him
it.
out,
Pete
crossing
needs
him
to
off the
heal up.
list. Big shot being traded off from Tenya, though, to slow down the
Here
roll
it
that
is, good
Peterbot
shit.
has on. And this is the thing I feel about this duo. We're always talking about how great Peterbot is. Obviously, since the Summit land, people calling Boyo probably one of the best players in NA as of now. I feel like they have like small
He's not one of
competitions
the
within
best
one another.
players of
See
NA.
who gets
He's
more
the best
eliminations,
player.
who has better solo clutches, and when Dust right now
Peterbot is the best player
and
and
said
said
That
Poyo's
was
the
so
best.
aggressive right there by Peterbot and Boyo. They go for that fight, just trying to really punish the team behind.
I don't know
them.
what
Thought
you
they
want
were
me to
gonna be
say
able to
there,
jump
bud.
into their box, and it cost them a fair bit of their remaining heals, but in the end, it alleviates
Yes.
the pressure from the duo.
That's another
They
thing.
have enough
Splashes.
to take the
Oh
distance
my
here.
god. Chug
This nice little
splashes.
fresh pickup there, trying to
Chug
keep
splashes
the
and
score fast enough.
fizzberry bottle.
There's a nice upgrade for
The
them.
flowberry fizz bottles. Yeah, last
You hear
season.
all that
Or
noise, all
no,
that fighting
not
going
last
down
season.
underneath.
Last
Just gotta take it
season,
a step-by-step
yeah, it
assessing
kind
the
of was.
situation.
Chug
Shots
splashes
come
was
off
definitely
on
in
their
it,
layer, so they're gonna
but
backtrack in
we
their
had the
steps.
flowberry
Reed
fizz
Cooper, though,
smoke
all the way from
instead.
Wonky Land. They're gonna be
and
the
we
first
got
team on
and
the
we
high
got
ground.
that
7-0,
taken away
though.
because
We've
of
already
the
seen
like
in game 1 that
super
could be a little
overpowered
bit early
fucking
to try to
rotation
invest
strat
everything.
with the fucking
Yeah, I was gonna
wheel
say,
at
pretty
Wonky
impressive
Land.
for them to be the team right now to try to identify as the high ground duo.
Like,
2 games in a row now,
you
position
think
themselves up for hype.
me using the
King
wheel
Craze,
and
a
how
little
far
bit
I go
less
is
of an
crazy,
elimination
but
tear
I'm
throughout
telling
this
you,
game,
I
but
could be at
nonetheless,
Wonky
they're one of
Land
the
last
healthiest
season,
here
and I
coming
could
off
be
of a
probably
fresh
halfway
refresh
through the
there, so
fucking map or
very
almost
big,
bottom
big
of the
material
map.
counts in their inventory. Meanwhile, Veno, Agers looking very strong and healthy as well here.
It was
This
crazy.
time, not as desperate to be down on the low ground.
I
playing for the
remember
mid lane.
getting
So
one
we're probably gonna
actual
be
clip
seeing
before
a
it was
high
fully
ground fight
nerfed
here.
of me landing on a fucking player and
Careful.
killing
I feel
him.
like this lobby is stacked with teams that
I was like, let's go, I got my clip before it got nerfed.
It's going.
There's just no
Towards the
way it was
backside
gonna
zone.
stay
They have
as
the benefit
overpowered
of
as
the
it
doubt.
was.
900 above the damage threshold, but that's not a worry. They just
Now,
have
if
to
it
wait for
was
3
shown
players to
a
go
little
down.
differently,
Boyle
not in
gets
a
another
skin
elimination,
cup,
kinda
maybe
easing
we
up on
would
that
have an
pressure on one
overpowered
side.
fucking
Got
Wonky
Golden
Land
on the
POI
other. We
still.
got Clix and
But
Rapid. I knew I
we don't
didn't
get
see
no
Reed and Cooper
materials
no
from
longer
the
on high
fucking
ground as Clix and
little
Rapid are
gun
the team
game
to
anymore,
overtake 'em,
so
but they're below the damage
fuck that
threshold.
game.
Yeah,
Fuck
just a
that
couple
place.
players have to fall
It's
here,
not
and
worth
they
it.
realistically are the only team there. They just need a little bit of damage, but no one's
It
revealing
is, but it
themselves.
isn't.
So much metal and just hugely fortified bases around them. They can't afford to.
Clix and
fill the
Rapid
fire.
on height?
Here comes some
Nope,
fresh
never
builds.
mind. They
Finally
just
get
gave
some
it up.
damage there.
Oh, maybe not.
Cost them a fair bit. Rapid's really hurt on that rotate, actually. It's Peterbot and Boyo who take the
Oh
opportunity to go for high ground. And now
my
it's Higgs'
God.
playground to mess around with. They're doing what they need to do, elevating themselves ever so higher. This is a perfect spot for them now.
Just melted Zen flying through
But-
the sky. Boyo's the one that's gonna get credit
That
for
looks like
that
a
one.
fucking
But like you
picture of
said,
like
kind of
everyone
reinforcing
just
their
bowing
position,
down to
building
the
up higher
fucking
so they
leader.
can kind of hear the warning of those shockwaves if any team looks to contest them. King and Craze probably have no plans for that being a possibility. They've just been dominating this low ground, even without eliminations. They're pushing team after team off of their layer, making sure they control as much of the tempo as possible, even bypassing Reet and Cooper, building above them so they have the double edits in case they try to continue that path.
Yeah, I don't really see much in the way to stop King and Crazy here. They've been playing so well. You look at the rotates that they're putting out as well. There's no one giving them any resistance, but
No, if
meanwhile,
Peterbot and Pollo don't
are the
if
team
they're
on
good
the
on
board round. There's
materials
always
and
one.
can keep
For
height,
now, it's
they
them right
could
here.
possibly
They
get
seem to be
an
running
easy
things
qual
up right
off
now.
of this
4
game.
eliminations, plenty to work with as well as far as heals are concerned. Here comes the shockwaves from the outskirts.
Here's my thing.
Targeted from Peterbot, Pollo
Yeah,
on
here's
top.
my thing about
That
Peterbot and
mythic
Pollo.
AR just shreds
Game
the
1
moment
and
he catches
2,
contact.
maybe
Yeah,
3,
nobody can
I'm
kind
not
of
worried
reveal
about them
themselves for too long
qualifying.
before they
When it
risk
comes to
going
the
down.
end of the
Clix are
tournament,
rapid.
watch the fuck out.
You see the struggles that they're going through. Clix, not a lot of builds. They're trying to find elimination.
And
did
they got
get a
chopped
knock.
down.
King and Craze finally have their plan settled out. They're looking up, trying to chop them down, but they've drawn the attention of Peterbot and Pollo. They know that's the second height team, the threat that they need to watch out for, but there's still Veno, Agers, Higgs, Curve. You see them lurking in the backside of the
Yeah,
zone
that's
as well.
true. Oh,
Yeah, King and
I
Craze
was about
probably
to
looking
say,
to
is
set up a
Clix
shot.
going
You
up?
see them crouched up, just again peeking through those cones, waiting for an opportunity. Anyone moving on the outsides, King's got that covered as well. They just seem to have their bases fully locked in right now. There comes some pressure from a team up top, but again, not enough to make them have to worry. The distractions on
Clix
though.
is
Rapid
dead.
now forced to put up a Clix-like
Rapid solo
performance here by
clutching.
himself. Zifta,
Pollo's
Sinetto finding their
dead.
activity here.
Peter
That's
might
actually
be
on to
solo
Pollo.
clutching now.
Okay, and now they end up with high ground. So we already saw Pollo and Peterbot getting a little bit desperate. They were starting to run out of material. And it
Peterbot
does
solo
start to
clutch.
come to light here.
Yeah, that was Peterbot. You're talking about somebody's dropping down. It was him from above
God.
trying to get any of
Jeez.
these refreshes until he finally runs into King, and King cuts him short.
He didn't take
Big
that mythic
elimination for
AR,
this duo,
alright.
but even King
And then you
gets
got
cut
knocked,
short.
too.
What is today, Monster? It seems like solo clutch performance after solo clutch performance. Even Veno having to leave Agers behind. He's healing up. Veno's building the path. This might be one of the stronger duos we have left alive in this game.
Yeah, definitely. And Veno's just playing
No, it
so
literally
well.
is.
Just takes down each of those eliminations. We're seeing him
Besides,
continue to shine here.
never
but look
mind.
at this.
I was about to say
Craze,
King
although
and
he
Craze,
lost,
but
King is
King's
still playing
dead.
it out
Oh,
by
you got
himself
Ree
right
and
now. He's at
Cooper.
7 eliminations. Veno, Ager still going. Afonso falls here as well. And now they're working their way down, going through the motions here. A little bit of a refresh for Veno's going to set them up nice. Cooper and Retho from the high ground down to the depths here are forced to try to play
You
this
better
on the
hope
low ground.
someone's right there too.
Yeah, you can see two different med kits. You gotta wonder what the HP's like. Higgs, the only solo left in this game right now. 17 builds, but no chance to recover any HP.
Higgs is
outside
the
of
only
elimination.
solo.
Veno
No way.
Angels push into a whole nother team.
Come
Yes, the
on,
box
Higgs.
Damage is there, but they're able to slither their way on out the bottom of that box. Veno and Agers, though, just trying to go ahead and dominate this layer, pushing all these teams off. But right now, it's high ground that they have to worry about.
But high ground, we haven't quite seen what their material counts are looking for. They get double chopped there, sharing the builds. Veno
Oh,
goes up,
shit.
taking full advantage.
Oh, shit.
Zepta and Veno with the monster shot. Agers with the backup as well. Each of them win their wins, but they get sent shocked out.
Oh.
He comes back. And they manage to recover themselves there. We're about to see a
No
2v2
fucking way,
with Contrap in the mix.
Veno
It's
and
just really
Agers
telling
are
where
fucking
the contract
insane.
goes up, gives an advantage
When
to
they're
Reed
not
Cooper,
getting
but he's
shitted
working
on
his
by
way on
Peterbot
down, trying to
off
take a
spawn.
fight against them themselves. They're still up above. He's figuring out a way to kind of go underneath the radar, not be noticed up until now, but eventuality will happen. The zone will close, and that where he has to try to make a move.
2v2.
That's where Reed shuts him down. Veno and Agers drop down from above. They trade eliminations back and forth. Agers in a 1v1 against Cooper, and it's Reed and Cooper out of nowhere that steal away their limelight and advance to the grand finals.
Contrap came through, was just a distracting factor. The siphon keeps one alive while the other exchanges the shots. That's that little bit of unpredictability you never know that you're going to get with Fortnite there, Zeke. But what a game.
This is a great.
No big
This is
deal,
a crazy
MBF,
ass
no
fucking
big deal, just a
leaderboard.
global champion,
Reed
going ahead and
and
saying,
Cooper.
Major finals, I guess I'll go ahead
Booga
and claim the
Braids,
spot going on
Agers
over.
Veno,
Not a big deal. And of
King
course,
and
Kelly, I
Craze,
know you're
Peter
excited.
Pollo,
You paired up
Clix
with Reed,
Rapid,
and that's your favorite
Higgs Curve,
Listen, I don't want to be biased,
fucking
except I
9th
do.
place,
Reed and Cooper
Kanada's
coming
Sphinx.
out on top, waiting for the final moments to
Like, dude,
engage
just
that
the top
fight.
10
They
right there is
probably knew that
fucking
Veno and
insane,
Agers
dude.
were up on height, and so they waited. They were patient in that final moments, Vivid.
Oh,
and that's really where it
fuck,
came down
dude.
to AJ versus Cooper. And listen, we all know Agers is an incredible fighter, but Cooper, the global champion, man, you know he's never done an out.
I mean, Cooper just kind of running around on the low ground. I like the catchphrase there, just keep on shooting, man. It looked like he had so many targets to keep hitting, right? Had to go ahead and hit the knockdown body, so that he kind of got the siphon to kind of join the mixer to help him out just a little bit. And then he turns around a little 180 to go ahead and close things out. But game 2, man, a little bit crazy. This one went actually all the way to this.
All right.
We almost closed out the zone here, closed into the storm. And listen, over the course of the first 2 heats, man, these games were kind of ending early, but with 2 healthy duos left alive, they kind of pushed it all the way to the limits here. But it was a great battle between Veno and Agers and Cooper and Reed. But when everything was said and done, Cooper kind of turns around, hits the shot necessary, and you can kind of see those margins. He just had a sliver of HP to do it, but Cooper clutches up.
My gosh, man, if you had told me this was like if you just said, hey Zeke, this is a finals lobby, I would 100% believe you, right? Like this,
Right, if you said
yeah,
this was
there's so many
finals
things that happen.
today,
Again,
believe
shout
it.
out to Reed and Cooper. They have made they've secured themselves rather a spot on the battle bus going to next weekend's finals. Bummer we won't get to see more of them today, but there's still 3 games to go.
Reed,
So many
Cooper,
more
Booga,
teams
and
could
Braids,
clutch up a VR.
they
For
don't
now,
even
a
need to
break.
play
When we
the rest of the
return,
tournament.
We break down more of the leaderboard and prepare ourselves for the halfway point. See you in a moment.
Damn. Shit's getting crazy, dude. Booga calling off of first game. Reed second game. Peterbot's gonna go game 3. Now I'm just playing. Maybe. Oh yeah. And then just the way that Rapid and Clix are playing, I could see them getting a win. But I don't think that if they get a win, it either happens now or they get it game 5, and if they don't get it game 5, then they still obviously I would say they still qual. There's no way they don't qual. There's 6th place right now, I think. 5th, 6th, and 7th place is just fucking diabolical, dude. Fucking goddamn. I don't know how I feel about it either. Like, brother, this shit stinks. Now, if this was the fucking female tournament, yes, but give us some actual fucking like banger fucking music.
Welcome back, Fort FM, to the FNCS. It's great to see you. If you just missed it, game 2, Reed and Cooper got a victory royale, which means they're going straight through to finals next weekend. And in case you missed game 1, Booga and Braids went over to them. A lot of crazy things happening here, but friends, we cannot forget that Reed Cooper 2v2 came down against none other than Veno and Agers. It could have gone either way. But man, Veno and Agers getting a 2nd place with 10 eliminations. Oh my gosh. This is what I like to see, Kelly. This is what I like to see.
I mean, yeah, they have 2 games played out of 5, and they already have 137 points. Veno and Agers have been able to make it to the end game both times, and I just don't think that there is too much of a concern for how they have been performing. They have just been playing this so well on the low and mid ground, waiting for the perfect moment to go for height, and honestly, they've just been doing it so cleanly. Yes, it is unfortunate that they have not been able to get the win, but as far as Veno and Agers are looking right now, Vivid, I love to see this.
Whenever we take a look at teams and how well they're doing, one of my favorite things in Fortnite is recognizing a team that can play several different play styles. And so far, in just the first 2 games, Agers and Veno have showcased that both times. I mean, they were kind of playing for the higher ground in game number 1. They ended up giving it up and kind of playing front low. But this time around, they were kind of playing mid ground, looking for some refreshes. And once they got them, then they decided to go ahead and overdrive up to high ground and kind of contest for it. A second place with 10 eliminations. It was so close between them winning that 1v1 in the end, between winning that game, but really like what I'm seeing out of Agers and Veno right now.
Dude, I'm also just looking at this top 5, man, right? Remember, VR means we go straight through the finals. We're not going to be seeing the first 2 for the remainder of the day, but we've got to be ending the top 10 of consistency, which is basically the top 15. Okay, sorry, I always had to repeat that. Kingling and Craze, though, we've now had 2 pretty solid games. Also, kind of like what you're pointing out, Kelly. Only after
Yeah, no,
2 games,
King and
breaking
Chris
into
definitely
a
gonna get a
triple
win too.
digits
I think, like,
already. I mean,
realistically,
Kingling and Craze, looking
now
good.
that Booga's
Yeah,
qualled,
as
I
far
can
as what
sit
we've
here and
seen
say
from
I think
Clix 1
King
and
and
2,
Craze,
getting 2
Pete
really good games
Poyo,
where you're
and
kind of in
then
the top 10, one kind of
maybe
okay game, and then you could even have
Clix
2
and
kind of
Rapid
bad games.
getting
Is all
Victory
you need is
Royale
top 15 out of 50
qualifications.
teams. Although it sounds like not that difficult of a feat, it is still challenging when you consider how many big names are in heat number 3 right now.
They already said
But as far as Craze and
Booga,
Kingling, I am not too worried
fucking
right now.
Booga,
Like you said,
Braids,
they're currently
Cooper,
sitting
they're
in
not
second
in the
place
lobby no
as
more.
far
They're
as
done for the
consistency.
day.
But the concern that I have for everyone right now, Vivid, is that you look at the names on that
No,
list. We got Kingling,
they're not in the
Peterbot,
lobby no
Clix,
more. They're
Hayes,
done.
Creon, Kanata. And that's
They
just
got their
page number
dub.
1, right?
They got their
There is
dub and qualified.
So many big names that have not solidified their spot into the grand finals. So even if you are
I
making
mean,
it to the
honestly,
end game
like,
every single
yes,
time, all
if
it
you,
takes is for just one random
I
zone
don't know
pull
if
to
they
go
can
into the favor
technically
of your
still
opponents,
play
and then that is
the
gonna
rest
put
of
you
the
down the
tournament
leaderboard.
out, but
Kingling is
they
actually
could go
our
and do like
individual
scrimmages or
eliminations
whatever,
leader right
honestly.
now. He has 12, but there is one other player
If
who's
anybody's actually got
joined
any
him in
up,
double digits
I
with
kind of
10
doubt
of
it.
their own.
And if they do have any
Peterbot, man.
scrimmages
We
up,
love
you're
him.
not
We
going to be
love him.
playing
He's
against
gonna pick
anybody
up
in
those
your heat.
eliminations. But like I said already, Kingling currently has the lead in just after 2 games. But it's so impressive that we already have a couple of players entering double digits after just
Shit,
2
they could
games.
go
And it's
against a
kinda cool
couple
because
of
obviously we
West
always look towards Peterbot and
players
Poyo
that
kind
are
of be
about to
that duo
play
that's
in the
going to pick
next
up those most eliminations. I think it was in
3
game number
hours.
1 where a stat flew about the plans, and I think it said that they had 4 games with 30 plus eliminations in the plans. So these guys are all about the eliminations. I will say, unfortunately for us and unfortunately for them, they haven't actually made it to the 10th, 11th, 12th zone in these first 2 games as a complete duo so far. Unfortunately, Poyo has gone down a little bit early, so Peterbot has kind of been left as a solo, which is why he probably is picking up some of those individual eliminations. But they're still chilling. 3rd place in consistency.
It's interesting you point that out, because I feel like when we think back to Summit, it was actually the other way around, right? There's a lot of solo clutches off the back of Poyo, but now we're seeing it off of Peterbot. Kelly, Viv, I mean, is this just them playing around? Is this just them being little silly little guys until finals?
I don't know about some little guys, but I think that, yeah, they're not necessarily playing to the full extent that we know Peterbot and Poyo to play because they're not necessarily worried. They have already stated to Faxity that they are willing to lose a season to gain a global championships. Now, I don't necessarily think that that is going to be the concern for them anymore because Veno and Agers is no longer landing where they're landing. But I do think that Peterbot and Poyo, unlike everyone else, has nothing to prove. They've already proven enough.
You agree with that, Viv? You agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, Peterbot and Poyo, we know how they play heats, man. They're playing for those elims. They're playing for fun. They want to play all 5 games.
Hell yeah,
Okay,
dude.
I like that. Okay, game 3 is ready. This is about to be the halfway point. So some of these duos, they need to pick it up if they hope to make the finals next weekend. For now, casters, take it away.
You know, keeping that as a running thought, Jacob, I'm thinking Veno and Agers might be kind of happy Cooper just clutched up and played well because they get to continue to target Bucky.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one right there. And honestly, I even see a scenario that maybe we see Veno, Agers, Peterbot, Pollo take each other on throughout the course of these games. Both of them have proven they do want high ground, but this leaderboard is stacked. Top 15 is looking hard to get. Let's go ahead with game 3.
What a plot twist would that be now if Veno and Agers are like, hey, what's up, Peterbot? How's your tournament going? He still has quite the way to go to be completely safe.
Look at that.
That, Jacob, would be pure cinema, as they like to say.
Yes.
Now I'm thinking, that's what I want to see here.
Yeah, I'd definitely be here for it. Sometimes nothing to lose, play for entertainment. But just Jerem, vibe, 63 points so far. Not necessarily where they probably would have hoped to go, but as it stands as of now, they're within reach of that bubble, if not inside of it, and that's pretty impressive. Go to say they're not only contested at Latte landing, they have to worry about Kanata and Sphinx landing on that western side, that mountain split that could potentially third party, if not directly, with shots in the distance.
Yeah, this drop's definitely slowed down a bit comparatively to the last few rounds. Getting to the drop though, Veno, Agers sticking to their true and trusty situation. They're about another big end game away from being completely solidified into the finals, and they can do what they want from that point onwards. But just playing their game seems to be going very well for them. They're clearly the strongest duo in the lobby right now as far as their overall performance is concerned. And it's what we expected though, right? Like, we knew this was going to be a tough heat, but we also knew players like Veno and Agers should fare well.
Yeah, and honestly, you kind of look at the other side of that drop spot. Veno and Agers don't necessarily have to do anything different. Bucky and Cam, however, have to figure out how they're going to make it deep into some of these games with the target on their back. Because we know Veno and Agers want uncontested. Even some of these split drops here, finding a little struggles to get all their loot. Everybody just kind of grabbing scraps, sharing mending machines to try to see what bit of action they can get out of this early game. Cluster Coast, just as contested as last, and kind of something that you said earlier on. You know, a couple of these drops seem to be slowing down versus the first 2 games that we've seen so far.
Yeah, I think reality's setting in here, right, for the opponents. Like, you're starting to think, dude, we're 3 points, we're 6 points. Like, what's going on? We can't keep playing this way. We need to survive a little bit longer. And that's why we're seeing stuff slow down. On the other side, you're having these inexperienced teams that have never maybe made a finals or have only been there a few times. They're at 50 points. They're kind of in the conversation. And they have to decide to themselves, is it worth even fighting at this point? Like, we just need to keep making end games and we'll go to finals. So I think we have a very interesting dynamic taking place here as we're in the middle of game number 3.
See Sphinx looking on over towards Latte. Gonna be the easiest shot they have to get Surge in this early game. Dragon and Creon having this whole back mountain to themselves. 84 points, faring well, able to kind of get that mythic pistol in their inventory. The biggest thing that they lack right now, or at least just looking at Dragon's inventory and even now Creon's, they have 3 shockwaves. Typically, both of the duos would carry 6 shockwaves each for a total of 12. They do have gold to buy more shockwaves, but they're just probably waiting to see what they can find.
Yeah, as much as I like the gliders, you know, they look cool and all that, they're just not as good as shockwaves, of course. Veno, Agers on the hunt right now. It's not onto the Buckies and the Cams of the lobby. It's onto Wikipedia, who's also just outside the harbor playing his split drop, and to catch him off by himself. This is just practice, it looks like, honestly, for finals here. The options to do what they need to do at their drop and then crank their way outwards. Meanwhile, you see that duo in the distance there, hearing what's going on, hesitant to even go that way at the moment.
Even seeing Bucky and Cam in the distance. Talked about changes up right now. They're leaving Heatwave Harbor early. Clix and Rapid, they're able to find that first elimination, and one of the biggest things, you know, at one point or another, we're talking about Peterbot, Pollo contesting Veno and Agers. It was actually Peterbot and Pollo contesting Clix and Rapid at the Shaken Sanctuary. It was because the cube moved, or at least the movable cube, where you can kind of launch yourself off of it from Sinister Strip to the Sanctuary. Clix and Rapid had the idea in their head. Peterbot and Pollo are going to switch the drop. We just have to weather the storm until then, and now they're not only taking that drop, but that's what they're using to fly around and get some of these early games eliminations.
Yeah, the power of being able to land anywhere you want really keeps you super dynamic. It's more of a problem for everyone else. Vibes and G's, look at this lurk spot. It's not even well hidden. He's behind some small table here, but gotta appreciate the effort. T Jumps off with the shockwave, stays there a little too long. His teammate doesn't come to back him up, and they just make the call to jump on him. Kind of like this play right here. I think this works out really well for them. Teammate is here though, so now we're looking at more of an old-fashioned 2v2.
A little bit of advantage though going on over to Minty and Autumn. Jerem just seems to be weak beyond belief. No shield, just HP, and they finally go ahead and get the drop on him. Vibes is there by himself.
Damn.
And Monchi's not going to be by himself for long. Both of them get sent back to the lobby together. And interesting thing, Kanata and Sphinx, they just kind of watching it all play out on the mountain. I'm not sure how much surge they got in this game, but that could be one of the downfalls, missing out on an opportunity there.
Impressive job there. Some quality right camera peaks, and really just a textbook way to turn that fight around. That was when they shouldn't have won either, given that they had the health disadvantage there. But, neither here nor there. They'll have to live and learn. Peterbot Boyo still has all the time in the world, taking their time here. Normally, Peterbot's kind of on the outskirts by now, looking around for a fight to jump on. So, a little bit of a different strategy at play. I wonder if the zone is kind of playing into that.
I wouldn't doubt it, honestly.
Information here in a
Then
bit,
again,
jump into the high ground where Golden and Ozone are situated.
They would,
This is your
I don't know.
standard surge base.
They'd have to show
According to
back
map,
the
we don't see
fucking
much action nearby,
mini
so
replay.
Pretty slow game for them.
Because if anything, I'd say they probably go and kill
Yeah,
one
still
person,
relatively
leave the
early.
other one.
Nobody kind of rotated
Just
on
for
out from their
surge.
drops or their splits just yet. They can go ahead and look towards the north. You'd probably see the same thing for Kanata and Sphinx. Just trying to take advantage of the early game zone. Just like you want to accumulate damage for Storm Surge, you don't want to take damage either. So that's why you see some of the teams with power positions early on just kind of bunker down, park it, and just wait for opportunities to
Pete,
come
what
their
are
way.
you doing?
Meanwhile, Peterbot,
What are you doing, buddy?
Typically, you do see them on the
Oh.
outskirts, and
Oh.
right now, we're seeing them on the outskirts. They just got to wait for any opportunity they feel like they can take advantage of. An isolated team, bridge and natural terrain covering them from the distance. Peterbot stealing not just one, but two different covers there to try to push the fight.
Yeah, I'm looking at it like, how did you even get that wall, son? Like, that was crazy. And then for him to know that he took the two walls, just impressive all around. You know, my brain can't even keep up. I feel like I'm on a ping delay right now. Like, what's going on? That was insane. But all good. Peterbot Boyo have full
Pete's
control
just
of the fight
taking
here.
everything.
It's very standard for them to play separate angles, each of which are so fast and deadly on their own. Normally, this fight would have ended already, so Cash putting up a great defense here as they scramble around and barely slip out. But look at how much of these walls are in control of Peterbot and Boyo. Here they come. Just trying to reset. Peterbot making sure there's no one above them.
Ooh, I was about to say, you got to be careful for a fight like this for Peterbot and Boyo. It is taking quite a long time, and even though they're landing shots, they're also taking an immense amount of damage. Boyo right there, probably over 200 damage being dealt to Peterbot and Boyo, and that's why they're consistently trying to give it back. Great damage there from Boyo. Even without the elimination, you can kind of see what they're fighting for. We both know Storm Surge is like currency. It allows you to travel through the map with a little bit less stress and desperation throughout the course of the game. But Peterbot gets tagged up yet again. They are doing such a good fight on the side of Spear and Cash to slow down the roll of Peterbot and Boyo. Something I definitely didn't expect after the two hot streak games that we've seen.
Yeah, I think Peterbot was a little bit frustrated there that he didn't get the initial elimination when Cash slipped out the box, because you noticed that he was second guessing himself time and time again, thinking, no, this guy's above me. Like, I saw him there, but he had already jumped to lower layers. So definitely a little bit of frustration setting into Peterbot's play there. You give them enough time, though, they're going to figure it out.
People wondering why King and Craze, seeing what's going down there in the feed. I did see it. Sure if it was King or Craze, but I do know they did get that knock and elimination onto Agers. Probably looking for Veno, but he's going to be able to disengage his Cash. And Spear still doing a good job of holding their ground, but you know, for both of the teams in this position, Peterbot and Boyo and included, you know, look at the resource count. Look at the amount of heals. They've drained so much here in this game, and right now, Peterbot puts himself in another peculiar situation. Lands a haymaker onto Spear, but he gets dropped down to 30 HP or so.
Yeah, you know, at first I was thinking, yeah, they've done enough to still have a damage lead, but now I'm convinced they're actually way behind, and this is a net negative game for them. This is starting to look really bad. They've exhausted half of their material count, most of which is the heavy mats, and the team that they're fighting has used everything.
I don't even think I'm watching freaking West.
Refresh is concerned.
At this point, I'm not gonna watch
It's almost
West.
feeling, you know, that
I'd be on for too long.
or the lost cause fallacy, where they've just invested so much into this fight already. In their head, it's almost pointless to disengage at this time. But they do see that the Sinister Strip's still there, the back mending machine is there, but Peterbot goes down again, just biting off more than he can chew in some of these situations. That's got to be a confidence boost for Spear and Cash if they finally realized who they're going up against. But surviving the fight is not enough. They have to go ahead and find that second eliminations, but it's going to be a little too late. Poyo's going to disengage on out, and they just got a huge upgrade due to the loot that Peterbot dropped.
Yeah, Poyo going straight for the reboot right away.
Oh, Pete's coming right back. That's all right.
They also secured all the loot there, right? So getting that material count and then getting the
Poyo seen the knock and was instantly back at fucking Sinister rebooting.
Range, right inside the top 15. That might have been the highlight of their weekend. If they can take this game, turn it into a few points, they might just go to finals based off of that fight alone. Kingaling and Crazed, the second time they get to clash against Agers and Veno. This time, Kingaling and Crazed are here to finish the job, and they get one of the two. I don't know if they got Veno, but I'm assuming Veno got up out of there.
Just an insane shot to take him down 180 while he was full boxed. Just impressive gameplay all around. You can see that the only team in the lobby who qualified for all 4 Divisional Cup finals together. It goes to show that, hey, they may have broken up for just a second when they reformed, but sometimes being reunited has never felt so good. 89 points, still behind the curve against some of the other superstars here in this lobby, but they just have like a slower game than most. They don't go for early game eliminations, especially if the zone kind of pulls far away. They use their height advantage over at Lifty Lob, plus that launch pad to close the distance when they have to.
It's kind of interesting because you think of the personalities of the two. Curve very much reserved, Higgs super outgoing. I almost think they might have found their balance in one another, and I think it's interesting that they're kind of taking the playstyle with the slower approach and saving that big burst of energy for when they need it a lot. We'll see how they continue to perform here. Afonso realize one of the teams again that's in the bubble at the moment here. Yeah, we can start painting that consistency picture because again, it's a very short evening. Only 5 games and we're in the middle of game 3.
Yep.
So very soon we're going to be in the final stretch for these players to try to get their consistency points to go to the finals. Dignitas, Kanata, Sphinx on the other side, making a move right now deep into the storm here as they continue.
Yeah, look at the point gap.
What's interesting is they did this last game. They decided to go deeper into the storm around this time to wrap around.
Yeah, just a win gets you, I think, like 990 something or fucking 1,000 points.
Well. Yeah, and they have the benefit though. I will say, as long as they have the gold and the med kits, you see how the zone at the north side of the map is kind of full. It is going to open up in that direction. So you got to think the probability of a lot of teams already stacked up there has to be low. And if that is going to be their course of action here, it might work out for them. We might see them later on in this game as well.
I was
just
way
like
off.
Bucky and Cam choosing to change things up. Instead of getting aggressive and willing to fight against Veno and Agers, they disengaged out of that POI early. They got their loot and hoping to play the rest of this game out. But now they find themselves with similar struggles below the damage threshold. And this is the first time they're facing these struggles today.
I mean, but it's also the first time we see them at least making it to the mid game, right? So this is a huge step of improvement. Now, they will have to find their damage. Options looking pretty okay for what it's worth, but any fight that happens down here, there's too many high ground team positions kind of all around them, so the focus is going to be real.
You can kind of see they're taking a little bit of a risk here. They're not necessarily together, but they're just trying to cover a good amount of distance, give them more opportunities to connect with shots. You see Alfonso in the distance trying to come in. I'm sure Cam was able to get any damage, but that's definitely going to be a positive. But we see him return from the grave. Peterbot back up. Poyo getting elimination as well. And that's very, very important because losing that fight, Peterbot going down, how long it actually took, it leaves question marks about their surge, and that's definitely going to help them tenfold.
Not only that, all that material count went straight to Peterbot, and he was not capped on anything. So he absolutely needed that elimination.
Kind of looking pinpoint small moments throughout the game that can kind of change the
They're
course,
just
the
shaking their
trajectory of
head
what
like,
teams are
no.
going through. That one is
don't
definitely one
wanna.
for sure for Peterbot. Agers and Veno, we kind of saw that replay of getting dropped by King and Craze. They're going to be back up in this game here. 143 points, 2 eliminations, and above the damage threshold. The only thing that I have to really worry about is the resources. Couple empty item slots for Agers, lack of mobility, and you see Veno poking the bear up above, taking some shots again. That's King and Craze, the initial players that separated this duo the first time.
I like that little rematch at play here. I saw in the feed though, Peterbot Boyo landing on Cam, so that little split opportunity, little split pay they were doing, basically played against them. We get to watch the highlight here shortly, so take a look at this from outside the storm. Cam might have been poking the bear, like you said, of the wrong team this time around. Peterbot Boyo recognized that he had a solo tower. They take him out right away. Those are the key refreshes they need. Those are, you know, again, the big damage swings that's going to put them back into running here.
Especially if they keep finding these opportunities.
Ozone falls.
Ozone, yup,
That's
eliminated as
unfortunate.
well. 123, well above the damage threshold, even though 22 players need to go ahead and go down before Storm Surge no longer active in this game. They're putting themselves and climbing up that Storm Surge ladder where they don't have to look down or even worry about it. But they do get a max pull. That's going to leave them open to taking damage, but they are still pouring it out. Preston and Nades are not even sure what's hitting them right now.
Okay, really tough games for Golden and Ozone, by the way. They were only in the 30-point range coming into this one, and then for them to fall this late into the Game 3 development right after getting a refresh is going to really set them back. So Peterbot and Boyo have now taken out some really important teams, and they are finding, again, refresh after refresh, and they're just taking this momentum right into the end game now. And this is not what you want to see. You know, we went from calling Peterbot possibly frustrated in the last engagement, and all this confidence, right, surging right back in.
Even there in the feed, Boyle getting another knock on the Darcy. Clix and Rapid, though, they know how chaotic and destructive the low ground can get, and that's why I can see them kind of elevating themselves early. They don't want to spend too much material trying to claim the high ground of themselves unless they have to, seeing where the zone pulls. It is favoring their direction, so this is going to give them a chance to look back. But a whole nother player flying through the sky, landing a big shot onto Clix, making him second guess from 500 above the damage threshold to 289.
We've seen plays like that take players out. You never really know, so that was a scary one for sure. Meanwhile, if you saw there, Peterbot finds Contrap on the rotate as well. They find Darcy here from Boyo's perspective. They are just turning up right now. This is looking like it could turn into one of those monster games as far as elims are concerned.
Especially since you can kind of see after those eliminations, they're pretty stacked up on loot. They're stacked up on materials. They can be one of the teams to take it early and try to hold on to it as long as possible. See if that time comes, but for Veno and Agers, only 3 teams, or say players, need to go down. Storm Surge will deactivate, but for now, 44 above, that's where they're going to feel a little bit confident. Looking at the distance, seeing some fresh builds, they're going to lurk around here and try to go ahead and push forward, but instantly does get blocked off. They're just going to go ahead and wait for the zone to push forward before they make their move on out.
Yeah, I see Curve and Higgs on the other side, amplifies. Tsunami and Loris here. Pretty tough spot to be in right now. Shots coming in from other opponents as well. They're going to have to ditch the base here and get the rotate going. And things from the wide view. King and Craze continuing to fire off shots here. Another refresh for them now. This is going to get them right back into the running. Who's looking a bit desperate, but again, the firepower for King and Craze is so telling here. Looking at Clix and Rapid right now, positioned up for second height. Peterbot, Boyo, 8 eliminations and counting. They're just taking out anyone who's anyone in their way. They just have not stopped.
And you kind of seeing Land's Head in both of their inventories. They got the Mythic Pistol. If this team gets high ground or gets a position on the low ground, I'm definitely going to be scared for some of these teams. As Veno and Ager try to go for a sneaky play, but they get found out at the last second, denied that first opportunity, but they turn phase. They turn around, try to get another one, but both of those get stolen away. Peterbot and Boyo find 2 more, and it's the reason why they're going to get dropped out. Peterbot will fall, and Boyo's now left by himself for only a couple of seconds before Craze finishes the job.
That was kind of wild because they actually closed the point gap as well. They were flying their way so high up, but now you have Veno Agers really starting to gap the competition as far as overall points are concerned. Meanwhile, you still have Higgs on high ground right now. I didn't really see his teammates, so we're gonna have to assess the situation up top, but Agers and Veno are playing some strong Fortnite right now, and even though they don't have a lot of material count, they are putting up the numbers right here in the low ground. Higgs and Curve are both alive, barely any mats though.
I think Veno and Agers are kind of playing more towards the format. They know with a Victory Royale punching a ticket to the Grand Finals, they're maybe trying to stay away from the chaos of team after team trying to send it towards the high ground, but Veno's going to get dropped. Agers going to get left by himself. I'm not too worried. We know what Agers is capable of, but Craze is going to go down again and again. We're seeing multiple games here where some of our top teams being left alive as solos. Luckily for Clix, he finds that elimination. Third one of the game from a solo clutch in game 1 to dominating here in game 3.
This is really nice. The first time we're seeing them both enter into the top 10 together as well. Look at the synergy here. Double chugging back to the zone. Meanwhile, Kingaling has not stopped finding eliminations. He's our elim leader, and for good reason. Here comes Clix. Rapid versus Higgs and Curve for the high ground. Rapid's gonna find
shit.
finish things up. Clix gets his as well. And just like that, Clix and Rapid are on the high ground. King finally falls to the hands of Loris.
Yeah, two potential
Let's
teams
go,
going
Clix!
at it. It's Clix and Rapid are going to be the last one stalling at the high ground. Agers is trying to heal up whatever he can, taking it step by step, knowing he's running out of build, so eventually it's going to get hard for him. Better than it actually is. QTE taking the elimination onto Skittles. A lot of our solos getting tossed and turned outside of the lobby. Pop 5 here, Monster. Most of the placement points have already been granted, but now we're into the meat and potatoes.
Yeah, this game's over. You got Clix on a low ground, final elimination. Still has a couple shockwaves as well. Off he goes. Rapid playing the edit course here just because he has so much material to do so. It's basically a 2v2 right here. There's still another opponent there. He's going to jump in. Clix makes
Let's fucking go, Clix!
Just like that. They win the game with 11 eliminations.
Let's go!
And new team, Clix said it himself, it's a whole nother level of confidence being able to play
End your
with someone
fucking
like
stream,
Rapid, who is
Clix.
having a phenomenal
You're not
start
fucking
to the
playing
year.
another
We're gonna
game
see
for
him
the
at
rest of the day.
EWC, and now we're gonna see him
Let's
in the
fucking
FNCS
go,
Grand
dude.
Finals.
Yeah. Yo, Clix moving a little
I didn't even
different
feel
right
real
now, Clix.
fucking
okay.
to even say.
Dude, this is the confident Clix. This is the confident Clix that I miss seeing. This is the Clix that would go out, do crazy things. I'm sure he's probably yelling, bang, going crazy right now, walking around, staring out the window, looking onto
Not
the
be
city
kinda
that
wanted
shall
to
not
pull
be
up the
named,
stream
but
to
he
see
is
if that's
still
actually true,
Clix.
though.
And paired up with Rapid, Kelly. This
Hold
is
up.
what we kind of talked about at the start of the show, right? There's kind of a confidence back on Clix. And look, we come out and we go ahead and win. Okay.
100% Clix and Rapid, they've been having that snowball. They started off a little slow as soon as they formed, but it's been building up time and time that we've seen them. Whether that's been the difference
Fucking
scrims that we've been having over the last few weeks, they've been really building up this momentum. And this is the game that they finally get to solidify and show everyone that Clix and Rapid are here to stay. They're here to go to
This
the
is
global
good.
championships.
I'll see you guys
My
next
gosh,
Saturday, though.
What an incredible run to see them do this low ground run and then steal height at the perfect moment. We know how much Clix like to steal height a little early many seasons ago, right, Vivid? So to see him wait patiently for this perfect moment to take it is exactly what I want to see out of them.
It's gonna be a little bit of a throwback, but this kind of reminds me of the duo of Clix and Miro of a long time ago when they would kind of find these eliminations, and after they would kind of pick them up.
There he is.
And this is kind
Big
of
fucking
exactly
Clix.
kind of the step-by-step process that we just saw from Clix and Rapid right here. But also, they kind of pulled a little bit of a play out of what feels like last season's playbook, where, yeah, we would see these overdrive grenades kind of be used from the backside of the storm, but what kind of facilitated those plays was actually the Flowberry mist effect kind of helping out with those overdrive grenades, but obviously that's not in this season anymore, so that's kind of faded away, but they opt to go ahead and pull it out anyway, kind of completely catch Curve and Higgs off guard, and it worked out perfectly. They're going to be taking home game number 3.
Now, next step, the finals. Again, this is a Clix with confidence, and we hope it stays that way, right? Of course, we'll be talking about them in next weekend's finals, but for now, a quick break. We're at the halfway point. 2 games left to go. After a short break, we'll take a look at the standings. See you in just a bit.
The big fucking shitter, baby. Hold on, is there a... Can I change my skin in here? Oh, I can. Hold up. Gotta go change my skin real quick. Perfect. Got the motherfucking Clix skin on. Fuck you. It counts. It counts. Big motherfucking Clix. I wish. Bruh.
Welcome back to the FNCS format, man. Great to see all of you. We are now.
You don't
halfway
need a
point
bad
to
chicken
competition.
on
2
Rivals.
games left to go. Game 3 goes the way of Clix.
Bad
and
chicken will
Rapid,
just be
so they're
silent
good.
on
The next time we'll be
Rivals.
seeing them is in next weekend's finals. Now that we of
I'll
course
be
are at the
answering
halfway
it.
point, why don't we take a
Shouldn't
moment
be
here,
longer
check out some
than
stats. Let's check out the players in focus, powered by
40-ish
Milk. Let's take a look at
minutes,
some of these
maybe.
stat breakdowns of just the first 3 games.
Say there's 2 games left.
Of course, Kelly. Peterbot would have 2 of them.
Yeah, of course it's going to be damage dealt. And then solo clutch points. Peterbot, you know, it's not just that he has to prove to the rest of the lobby that his team's better. He also
Solo
has to prove
clutch
against
points,
Poyo that he's
Peterbot.
the better solo
Damage
clutcher.
dealt,
But
Peterbot.
Kingling up on top with 17 eliminations.
Oh, yeah.
You do love to see that.
Yep, without a doubt. I mean, it's incredible to see kind of Kingling towards the top of it as well. But listen, I mean, Peterbot on the back foot of him doing
The fact
so
that
good on those solo clutch points.
the
doing
players
so
to focus
much
on is
damage
nobody
dealt
that's
as
won a
well.
game
I
yet.
mean, these guys are still hanging around towards the top of the leaderboard. This game was probably their worst
Diabolical.
one yet. I mean, 17th place, but it's always the eliminations for these guys. Somehow, some way, they go down in 17th place, and I wasn't actually even aware of this when we were watching the game live. They had 10 eliminations this game, and they went down in 17th place. So the W key was being held down for sure. Kind of the strategy is starting to come into fruition here for the duo. I mentioned it going into game number 3. I was like, listen, the game plan is going to be clear for these guys. They want to play all 5 games, but in every single one, they're going to play for the elims, and apparently they did just that in game number 3.
And I feel like we see this every
I got
single
2 different
game.
mute buttons. I got the
They're not
actual
here to go
mute
for
thing
the
on
win.
my
No, they're here
fucking,
to
like,
let everyone know,
the
hey,
wire
we're
thing,
here.
and then
We
I
can
got it on
control
my
the lobby.
controller.
That doesn't mean necessarily that they're going to be going for height every game. No, if they want to go for low, if
Fuck
they want to
yeah.
go for mid, whatever they want, whatever practice that they want to get out of this, I think we will be seeing out of Peterbot and Poyo. And out of the points that they have already garnered themselves out of these games, I don't think that they really need to worry about showing up for the final 2. I think that they can kind of just keep doing doing what they're doing. I'm not saying that if Peterbot and Pollo decided this game, hey, we're gonna go win now, then they're gonna win. But I'm also not saying that.
not saying that. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, right? Like, I'm sure players
All right,
will
Clix
like,
just
dude,
qualified,
Peterbot
so
played,
you know
we
what
got
that
him, and then,
means.
yeah, like,
We already know who's winning.
Like, where were they at?
We already know who's
17th
winning next
place,
game.
10 eliminations, huh? They still pulled off the unthinkable, even in 17th place in that last game. Let's take a look at the standings, though. Where are we at? Rather, currently, again, if you're just tuning in, don't worry about those 3 1,000 placements. That just means they got a victory out. They're good. So right now, Agers and Veno currently in that #1 spot. You know, Kelly, their stats are looking so good, so incredibly consistent as well. An 8th place, 2nd place, 6th place, 5, 10, 5
About
eliminations.
3 minutes.
I'm
I'll be right
really
back,
looking forward
chat. I'm gonna go to
see
the bathroom
them
real
and how they
quick.
translate this
Oh
to a
shit!
finals lot.
Breaking everything.
Now listen, the story, and I'm all about the story, that we have been building up all season is that it has been the Veno versus Peterbot. Now obviously Veno left the drop spot, and that has to give the point to Peterbot in the overall story. However, Veno is currently above Peterbot in points on the leaderboard. I would have to say, doesn't that overall put Veno and Agers as you know, the competitive powers that we're looking at right now? That's not just above them. They are 30 points ahead of Peterbot and Pollo right now, Vivid. I would have to give the edge to them.
Yeah, without a doubt, I mean, Agers and Veno are looking very, very good. I kind of mentioned it after the last game. The one thing that I was liking so far that I've seen out of Agers and Veno was that their ability to play multiple different playstyles. Now, after game number 3, I mean, Agers did pick up a couple of solo clutch points there. But another thing that I've liked so far about the duo is that they're very committal in the sense that they're usually alive as a duo or they're down as a duo. It's either one. So they're kind of like all in as a duo. They don't necessarily rely on some of those solo clutch points that we've seen from some of our other teams here today. And I really favor that, especially when it gets down to the grand finals.
Interesting. I mean, they also have to translate that to finals, right? Because they're going to be put in situations where one of them is going to be a solo probably. So curious to kind of see how that pans out. Wanted to tip my hat here to Higgs and Curve, 132 points. They've only kind of had their first game was like the roughest game, right? A 16th place with 2 eliminations. It's a little rough, not that crazy, but if we're kind of looking at qualifying, they're at the 132 mark. Kelly, with 2 more games, I got to think they'll break over, like, you know, yesterday was like 160-ish points, right? So we just got to make sure we're above that line, and then we can kind of take this through the finals.
I mean, the fact that we've already seen them being able to take height around Zone 8, Zone 9, and then control it all the way till 10 until Curve went down right there. It was a very fast transition. As far as teams controlling height, one of the biggest proponents to a successful high ground team, I think, is actually when to be able to let go and survive potential height steal. So obviously, Higgs and Curve for that situation didn't go the way that they wanted, but they are still able to control high ground for even just a few moments, is definitely going to give them advantage over the rest of the lobby. And currently sitting in 8th place, we are already reached the halfway point of the game. This is a good place to be.
I think it's important for us to go ahead and quickly note here the eliminations column, because we did see that Kingling and Crazy had 24. Peterbot and Pollo also have 24, so a little bit of a tie here. As we do kind of take a look at that bubble very, very quickly. Usually when we finish up the day, it's top 15 to go ahead and secure that in consistency as well. That's currently sitting around 70 points, was a little bit lower than I would have initially anticipated, but you can see it in 18th place right there. We just saw a team go up 30 placements. Absolutely crazy. Kind of shout out to Amplify there. Hopefully they can keep this ball rolling and potentially qualify through consistency with just one more game.
You gotta hope, right? You gotta hope. Listen, this is Heat 3. This is gonna be one of the last chances to try and make it through the next weekend's finals. You don't want to go to the LCQ, right? You want to try and qualify right here, right now. 2 games left to try and make something happen. For now, casters, take it away.
Yo, they hit the nail on the head with only 2 games left. This is where you start to think, does it turn into desperation mode? If you're one of those teams at the lower side of the leaderboard, unite, start to think about that victory royale here instead of saving it for the last game.
Yeah, you kind of have to. You know, we've seen it time and time again already. I want to say the big names are performing right about how we expected. For everyone else now, they're going to have to pull the rabbit out the hat, right? We're going to have to see the magic tricks come out here because they are running out of time.
Yeah, and hopefully some of those teams, you know, you're on the bubble, you're on the line. Mistakes do happen. It's just about how you handle the pressure. Game 4 is here, so let's just jump right into it.
All right. right, let's kick things off, Jacob. We've seen a lot of action throughout the weekend here so far. The big boys qualing their way through. Clix and Rapid, man, talk about a performance of the weekend for them. You know, really clean, excellent job by them. But other teams that are already sort of punched their ticket through. Agers, Veno, Peterbot, Boyo, Kingling, Craze. They have so many points already massed up. You have to assume they're at the upper echelon of teams that don't have to worry now. They can start to do things like manipulate the rest of the lobby and really look to influence what the finals lobby is going to look like.
Yeah, it's something that we see every single one of these heat stages, but we saw a moment ago, Latte landing, one less team actually landing there. So with 3 POIs up for grabs, with 3 of those teams already in the grand finals, things are going to continue to change up. But one fight that will remain the same is Deja and Zeely winning the off-spawn fight, only with 21 points so far. So they have 2 thoughts in mind here. You play the game out as usual, get as many points, so you have 2 win conditions in game 5, or you just fire away 2 different games, go for the victory royale, so that way you have less to worry about.
Yeah, I'm thinking what a fun stat could be like. It's like, what was the lowest point team kind of leaning into 4th game or 5th game to qual through on NA over the weekend, right? I believe at one point we saw a team with around 60 or so points pop up out of nowhere and take a game 4 win. So it really is possible for anyone. All you got to do is win those contested drops there.
Wait a minute. You see this, right?
See the difference.
We're looking at the same thing, Veno and Age. And here's the thing. When everything happened with Shadow and Virgo not qualifying out of the heats, before Veno had marked a drop, it was this man right here. Kanata saw Shadow and Virgo. He said, I'm going there. Veno said he's going there. Kanata and Sphinx went back to their regular drop. So this could be a play out of Veno and Agers to take one less team out of their path, out of this lobby, and try to give them an easier road in the actual grand finals.
It's funny how that works out. We were just talking about Veno having the potential to do just that. You know, at one point, he could have looked to Peterbot's team, right, and tried to, you know, force them out of the game. But that ship has sailed, you know? Like, they already managed to get 160-plus points. So now Kanata's going to be really forced into an interesting spot. Take a look at the highlight here for names. Find Sinetto on the outskirts. Sinetto was doing relatively okay as well, so really unfortunate for them.
Look at that. Beautiful. Oh, I was about to say, I thought it was a completely uncontested POI.
Jacob, about what Veno and
Oh, it
Agers
is.
are doing here.
Yeah, someone just right outside of it.
We kind of thought one way, but maybe, you know, Veno and Agers just had something planned all along. I know Vivid was giving, you know, Veno's outlook of why he even contested Peterbot and Poyo, simply for that off-spawn practice, and it worked out so far, kind of crushing Bucky and Cam over towards the Heatwave Harbor, which is now going to work out for them, because you imagine maybe they're uncontested. So I think Veno and Agers might be playing the long game here with their spot probably already secured. They're looking forward to see how they can affect the actual grand finals lobby.
Yeah, definitely. Well, this is going to be a very telling opportunity now for Kanata. He can back up Dimsy for a second.
Fucking snuck up behind his ass.
Up to the opponent and shoots him before he even realizes what's going on. A lurk got lurked on. A tough spot to be in here.
Holy shit. Big ass lurk right there.
See him bounce around trying to get the minis. They canceled it out. He's only going to be able to get one off. Nimsy and Allen just have full control right now on the back foot, knowing that they have a huge lead here. So they basically have options. Is the damage they got okay? They can disengage, kind of start to build up that momentum, and that does look like to be what they're going to do. They're going to let Kiffy, Yami disengage. Battlewood is just one of those POIs where there's so many buildings, so many twists, so many turns. You can easily start to get aggressed on if you just get caught off guard.
Let's take a look at Curve and Pigs here. Not quite the same boat as the Peterbots, the Boyos, the Venos, the Kings, but they're doing just fine for themselves. They're about an end game away from being very much solidified through. Their job's way more chill, right? Taking kind of this northern area all to themselves. Really no one here. I'm curious what their strategy has been actually to get their servers. Very interesting that it's worked out for them this way. But Peterbot, Boyo continue to fight the teams on the outside. This time, Peterbot once again getting bested here, but it's all good. Boyo comes to the rescue just in time.
Yeah, just kind of looking at the one elimination out of both of them, they probably kind of disrupted the fight. Maybe one of those
That's
eliminations
crazy.
got stolen
Peterbot's
away.
wearing
There
that
is a team
skin as soon as I
on the
change out of
outskirts
it.
towards their northeast, not too far away, so you can imagine how that
The
is
fucking
affecting things.
Terminator
Veno
skin.
and Aegis going from the top of
The
mountain
exact same way that I
after
had
what
it.
looks like Dragon and Creon. Outside of the POI and any loot that could be there themselves, you got to
Fucking
imagine they're
wearing the
going
skin
after
the whole
that
entire
mythic
time,
pistol
and
weapon.
then we
You know, they're a
get
team
to
that
game
does
4
like to
and
go
he's
for
wearing
high
the
ground at
skin
times. This could
when
be
I
the
put
game
on
where
the
they set
Clix
themselves
skin.
up for a victory
All
royale,
right.
and this could be the tools that they're looking for.
Very nicely done here. Again, they're still in the hunt right now. You saw Kanata's nameplate in the distance there. But Veno's just finding himself kind of getting back to his, I feel like his fragging ways, you know? There was a point in time where everyone counted out and forgot about what he was capable of. Big Veno showing up here in NA. Alongside Agers, who's really managed to find his way into the playstyle very nicely. Veno leading the charge here, though. They got the knock. Nice job with the follow-up there, and then the finish. Just like that, they get themselves 2 more eliminations. They secure the Mythic Pistol, and this is a massive upgrade to their loadout.
Yeah. May not have gone how they thought it would go in terms of the amount of damage they took themselves, but that plan overall is 100% successful. They got what they were looking for. Kyrie getting lurked on. He spots it at the last second. A couple of quick shots there to try to slow things down, but he himself takes about 85 or so damage. Shield is there and gives him an opportunity to look up. He sees another team lurking in the distance, and now they're toying with the amount of options they have. You can fight the team down below, or you can try to wait and see where this one goes. Let them make a mistake.
Yeah, Unreal Yana playing the ultimate low ground. Echo trying to play for a little bit of positioning at the top, posturing up here. Loses the wall, gets a ramp placed behind him, unfortunately forced to a bit of a weird position there. Just like that, all the resets come through. Here comes a teammate going box to box.
It's going to slow down here just a little bit. You can see not a lot of shields left over. Run really an Echo. Not sure the chances of them being able to run into a mending machine just yet. Usually kind of pick that one up throughout the course of their journey. Just going to have a few speed bumps in the road, but I feel like it's nothing that they can't handle at this stage in the game. So jump on board and continue to look around some of the teams around the map. 83 points right now for Scoodle and Kyan, which is kind of like on the line. And there is a little bit of a gap between where they're at in the leaderboard, 83 points coming into this game, to the next team down, which is Cyclops and Light on 69 points. So if they can keep that gap intact, that'll definitely be looking good. But Echo has just lost his teammate. They get caught slipping here.
Yeah, definitely a tough position. Both of these teams are both in the same point lead as well, so very much met with an even threat, but Echo is going to be the first to take the casualty, playing the side angle. Love to see it. Little split from the middles there. You can see how much it's cost them, but now that they're down the middle, you really do want to finish this up ASAP. Not burn through your precious material. I think they're kind of feeling the same here. They've actually lost track of where this last play was.
And this is one of those things, like, you can continue to try to break some of these builds, look on the inside, but it comes at a risk of its own. You know, you can catch you off guard, hit a nice pump shotgun, switch to the pistol, finish off with a knock. So I don't think they're going to go ahead and take that risk. Take that small victories and continue to run with it. 2 games left, chances certainly running out. See, Veno Agers again, it almost feels like they're just going to every POI. They're the masters, they're the trolls, and you got to pay the troll toll to cross their bridge.
Gets to jump back in with Veno and Agers. I actually want the update from Kanata. Where did he go? Did he get his reboot is the real question. Because we already knew that his game plan was pretty straightforward, you know? But as he's jumping back onto Kiffy here. Little wall take there, doesn't quite get it. Kiffy was fast enough to respond.
Agers poking in on the other side. Trying to get something to sneak through. Not necessary bulldozing in just yet. They're inside the battle woods. The potential for so many teams to be in the distance, whether in the buildings or surge bases of their own, are going to be relatively high. As Agers continues to watch one angle, Veno closes out options on the other, getting control of that mending machine. They're already stacked up outside of materials, so I'm not sure what more they can be after.
It's a great stat to highlight what Agers is capable of. The amount of damage he puts out. Again, very quiet player when it comes to his social presence, but the professional player scene knows. If you know ball, you know exactly who Agers is and what he's capable of. So many accolades under his belt. Either way though, Yami and Kiffy continue to entertain the fight here for the vending machine. Agers and Veno, I think, have done enough. Meanwhile, going to the high ground. I was curious as to how Higgs and Curve were managing to kind of sustain their damage output. They seem to just wait for opportunities to come their way, playing the general launch pad.
Especially since they are on the north side of the map. I think in that incredible rotation, we did see Reed attempt to go ahead and rotate from Wonky Land all the way to over here. So you're seeing they're just kind of watching the outskirts. The teams that either in desperation mode to dodge fights or just simply just go around the map. As Peterbot Pollo going for a lurk. They're going to go ahead and shockwave up, force that player down into the palm of Pollo's hands, continuing to go on this chase. It's a situation we've seen far too often. Over-aggression lead to the downfall of one of them two, forced to pick each other back on up. But luckily for them and that team down below, they're going to be able to skirt their way out to safety.
It's actually scary how fast they have the ability to take the walls, make the edits, and just be flawless with their ability to navigate through the builds like that. Take a look at how things worked out for Kiffy, though. You saw Veno, Agers kind of messing with the beehive here. Kiffy finds a nice little shot onto Agers, then wraps him up. Gets the full finish as well. This is a minor setback now for Veno. A little taste of his own medicine here as he is now left by himself. I wanted the update from Kanata. We're getting it here.
We're seriously just showing somebody just rebooting their teammate. That's crazy.
Now they have Sphinx back in the game, but are they too far behind to turn this round into any points?
Yeah, they're already in the 4th zone, still in 1-tick territory. We're going to go to the 5th and then the 6th, so definitely on a clock to try to figure out what type of loadout they can lead with. This Veno lurking around by himself. You see he finds that elimination onto Pure. If he eventually does get the reboot like we're looking like here, they might have a body of loot that Agers could quickly try to grab back on up. And you ask so many times, Curve,
no, you're not wrong.
Their surge. It's just these high mountain ranges, these tops, and all these teams lurking
Go back
around
to
for scraps.
fucking EU, Veno.
Yeah, definitely. You see a duo right there kind of lurking nearby, trying to
I'm
find
telling
the
you,
shots onto Agers.
no.
As he comes in, everyone focuses on him.
Fuck, if Peterbot doesn't send you back, I'm gonna fucking
Tragic
send you
and
back.
still controlling the machine here. Plenty of heals for them to work with as well.
Not a bad situation. And that's the thing about Veno Agers. You could put Pete and Pollo in that category. You can, quite frankly, put a few of our top teams in that category. Just because they go down, they get rebooted, and, you know, they have some troubles in that game, doesn't mean it changes their game plan any bit, especially since they know they have one more game. If they don't qualify here in terms of consistency, they could easily do it in the next game, if not pop off and get an actual win. So that's why you're seeing a different type of looseness than you would see in an actual Grand Finals lobby with 12 games, everything on the line. Storm Surge reappears again, 300 above for Cynics and Cirque. That's going to be okay for this zone, but they need to continue to accumulate that damage so it becomes less and less of a worry as the game continues.
That's right, saw King and Craze find some elims there as well. We get to jump in with how things are happening on the other side of the map. They were at 2 elims here. They find the fresh team rotating deep in the storm. Couple taps, and just like that, a few headshots put them away. That's gonna put them up to 4.
Who fucking knows?
They might be
Anybody and everybody's.
Quick elims here, but come grand finals, I want to see what they can do against the increased competition.
Oh god, Pete's dead.
400 below though for Boyo here. Pretty tough spot for them to be in.
Yeah. And this is the type of gameplay, kind of exactly what I was talking about. We get to see how Peterbot got eliminated. They're below 300, underneath the damage threshold. Even with all the resources in the world, that's the one thing you really have to fight for. And that puts Pollo on the back foot. And again, all of these early game fights, especially the ones that are stalled out, they're not as clean as you would think. So Peterbot and Pollo have taken a ton of damage in this game. And now Pollo is kind of left alone to deal with it himself.
I was going to say 400 below. You know, at this point, we get to see if he's got the masterclass on how to actually put up that absurd amount of damage. How good do you have to be a solo and find 400 points worth of damage? It's pretty tough. Kingling and Craze on the other side don't have that issue at all. For Kanata, he's already lost Sphinx once again here. He's barely holding on. Boyo does fall, trying to fight his way through 2 teams. Fortunate for him, but Kanata's got a little bit lucky with that team fall in there. Those players there being his immediate competition as far as that damage surge requirement needed.
So that was very, very risky for Kanata to use the porta potty to get on out. Has no idea who might be up above as we tune in though. Not only have Peterbot and Poyo has fallen, Agers is down. Veno finds himself below the damage threshold, even though he does have med kits, chug chugs, and a whole arsenal to try to get that damage back. Eventually, Storm Surge will put turn on and put him officially on the clock, just like Kanata on the other side, 351. Almost essentially 2 full eliminations worth of damage is going to be needed by Kanata.
Yeah, Veno's super confused. His team shot right above him. It was just a solo, but either way, he was probably wondering, how did he know he was there? He's got a moment to work with. Kanata getting pressured by the lobby. Can't afford to get tapped, but he's moving something special here. Into a base he goes, and Kanata crushes one player, but couldn't get the follow-up. There was a fresh duo underneath, but Plan Veno succeeds here because they don't earn any placement points. Veno does it by himself here. He finds 2, and he's just showing you how it's done.
Giving me deja vu of Major 1. He came to this region and literally in his first FNCS drops the most eliminations out of every individual in the lobby, taking first place along with Curve. And now he's showing why he is one of the best players in all the land, not just one region. Doing it again here. It's just the heat stages, just qualifying, but sometimes you got to put your foot down one way or another, and Veno is doing just that. But without Peterbot and Poyo, without Agers in the lobby, this could be a moment for a team like Craze and King to finally pop off and win the game.
Most definitely, most definitely. But look at this, Veno finds another shield crack onto Zeely, runs up on another team as well, and he's just trying to catch another 2v1 for himself, because why not at this point? That's a refresh for the Shockwaves. He's back up to 6 and a fresh chug. This is so much arsenal for him to work with. He surely can make the end game look nice and easy now.
Yeah, immediately you see him stay off that low layer as a solo. That's one of the easiest ways to kind of get trapped and caught out, as he immediately returns back to form here. He said 7 eliminations. I believe King and Craze just trying to go toe-to-toe for that one. Coming into this game, Veno and Agers were in first place. King and Craze were in second place on 178 points. We could see a new first place team after this game for sure, but Devade right now, Mpesi needing a decent opportunity here. They're going to be on the high ground, and I think the only thing that they got that's not working in their favor is a max pool.
Yeah, definitely here. Just a singular shockwave as well, so you're gonna have to be really smart with the way they utilize this going forward. Storm Surge is once again active putting pressure on a few teams in the lobby, but King and Craze have nothing to worry about. They're just marching their way through anyone that wants to play the front side of the rotate, because they have the time, the luxury to go ahead and take these fights on their terms. They do very well when you allow them to initiate.
Man, they're just immediately staying on it. And these situations are dangerous. It's so easy to get third parties in their back, but they are so confident. Their 7th elimination, 1100 above the damage threshold. Goes to show a lot of these fights are ending so quickly, they're not taking too much damage as Veno continues to go off. From 7 eliminations last time we saw him to 9 eliminations as a solo, almost looking at double digits as he just wipes the shielded HP off of Ozone.
Absolute menace. Not only him, but Crazy King of Ling as well. Another 2 eliminations for them here, bringing them up to 8. They find Devade and Pessy here on the box next door. They thought about jumping in there, but instead go to cut them off with the low ground rotate. Meanwhile, Veno's the one firing back shots here. They just can't get enough of each other in this game here. Comes the shockwaves through. That's the last of it for King and Craze as they opt to play the ultimate low.
This could be their chance right now to take first place. Veno was just eliminated out of this game by Boji. But I say that, and King just immediately gets targeted off into the distance. Golden, Ozone, Higgs, Curve, all looking their direction, trying to slow down such an incredible run they have been on. But Higgs and Curve, 150 points. If you take any of the 2 heats so far, they are not yet qualified for the grand finals with those points.
Yeah, kind of crazy, right? Considering how much endgame they've made. So not a lot of eliminations by any means, but definitely some big endgame placement points being earned. Meanwhile, Crazy's lost King, but he's not being stopped from fighting fighting teams, playing so aggressively, pushes one back, forces the other off. He can't afford to touch the zone, and in the end, he does go down. High ground still held by Fleur and Regular, who have about 45 points right now, so this is the game win that they need to solidify their finals run.
Yeah, especially since a lot of the tough competition on top of the leaderboard, either in shambles or eliminated. And this could be their chance, especially with only 2 games left. But more and more teams are starting to look up. Regular is going to be the new team on the high ground. Max and Smiley are trying to chop him down. That's forcing him in the zone. 10 tick per second. He overstays his welcome. And now he's going to have to dig deep in his heal off. His second win condition is going to be forced out here in order for him to just stay alive.
You saw he almost choked for an opportunity there. He almost canceled the med kit. And Smiley now recognized that this team kind of loosened up their guard for a moment there. They fight for high ground. Smiley now takes full control here. They end up knocking one of the 2. Plur's left by himself. He's probably not going to be able to get the pickup here. Just like that, a new team's on height. This team can still qual through consistency, but why do that when you can fight for the win here?
Yeah, just take it. Run away with it. Iggs and Curve still up though, 174. Pessy's going to be down below, trying to go ahead and survive. He's at least able to get the knock onto 1 before eventually going down to a whole nother player. Curve wasn't even the one to get the elimination, and you see him needing it bad. He did not get the siphon, only 10 left on the Chug Jug, and a lot of his builds going right out the window. Spear Cash, they're trying to do just that. They were the ones taking Peterbot and Poyo's time, throwing it out the window. They survived their 4th elimination, make it 5 as he goes back to back. He just cleans house before going down.
Nicely done, though. A top 5 for him there, really fighting for it. Meanwhile, Smiley out of material count here. Shockwaves is up to natural high ground. They need to take the time here to refarm just a little bit. We all know materials definitely wins games. Curve, though, on the low ground, just trying to buy himself some time. Finds a leftover Chug. Okay, he's only got 10, but better than nothing at this point. 2 builds left. Meanwhile, Ozone, Golden, out of nowhere, had managed to survive the onslaught of the lobby. They were so far behind. Now they're finding themselves kind of in the race here. Curve might be the reason they can win, though, because the high ground team, we already know, doesn't have a lot of builds.
Yeah, I'm wondering if anybody even took advantage of the mending machine. As Curve's
crazy.
Gets a big elimination onto Allen. He missed out on that first opportunity at the siphon, but he will not miss out twice. As you said, he does not get the Chug Jug, only gets the builds, and those are instantly being burned through. Quickly hits the 180 shot before finally going down. That's Max and Smiley again. They were the ones that fought for the high ground, and they're hoping this could be the recipe for their success.
Definitely. Smiley's already down, though. He might be given the 1v1.
Right, you just wasted your shockwaves. Like, what the fuck?
Here. Ozone's playing a storm. He's a little bit off guard. Nicely done for him. They get the 2, and now it's a 2v1. Dimsy's in the storm healing. Ozone and Golden have so many seconds to play with, but he's got the mending machine.
What's the gold like? That's the biggest question. Ozone Golden, they have more than enough. He has the Chug Jug in the back pocket. The patch up is going to come in. If he can buy the med kits, yes, that will be a lot cheaper. Back-to-back patch ups, that could be the difference. Wasting gold on those situations could be the reason why he might not win. But Golden on the other side, multiple med kits in his inventory, and it's going to be enough. Golden and Ozone, a familiar face. Welcome to the grand finals.
Hey, listen, and they deserve to be
almost
there.
one to a heal off.
Their ways to globals as well. You saw what they were capable from land to now. They are slowly and surely showing us they are improving as a duo here. Well, the Victor Royale now, Zeke, is going to go to Golden and Ozone.
Fortnite fam, I can't even believe this has happened. I want to give you some insight really quickly. Obviously,
Game 5's about to be crazy
we're telling
as hell.
a story here. We're following along with you, following on the leaderboard. We're building kind of what we're seeing. And during the break, we were like,
Poyo
the
to get a win.
we talked about, we haven't seen a lot of it's Golden Ozone. Okay, well, where are they at?
But
29th
I'm pretty
place.
sure they're still in qual range.
They really need to have these like really killer last 2 games. Like we really hope that they make it through.
Yeah, they're in 8th place.
Of course, Kelly. It always happens like this.
Like,
the moment we're kind of talking about someone off screen, it's like, man, I really hope they do well.
Place, technically.
Victory Royale, 29th place doesn't matter when you could just get a win and secure a spot in finals.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a bummer as far as games 1, 2, and 3 are concerned. We really weren't able to get too much of a highlight,
he
too much of
would
an
technically
understanding of what
be first, so
exactly
yeah,
was
fourth,
going
you're
on.
right.
Where was the fault in their plan? But obviously, we've seen the success from them out of the Div Cups, getting 2nd and 4th place. We've seen the success from them from the Summit LAN. So we knew that maybe it was just a matter of time. Maybe they needed to get their footing. As we always say during heats, this isn't the normal set lobbies that these top teams are used to. So maybe working out just kind of the little issues with their start, but figuring that out, you can see just how low their points were right here. Sticking to the low ground, they weren't going for anything flashy. They weren't going for a high elimination game. They were just playing some standard Fortnite.
Helos have been far and few between this season. Super difficult for anybody to kind of play for it because you do use so many of your mats on some of these rotates with just having those overdrive grenades available and not something to kind of
it's the
send
guy
you
that
further.
I'm
With
questioning
Golden
that's
and
part of
Ozone
the
were
club or
still
not.
kind of prepared for it. They were still ready to play against it. We saw they had 4
Yeah.
med kits available. They didn't need all 4 because eventually Storm 6 has played a part, but Golden and Ozone being prepared for heal off, even though we have not seen many throughout this season. Congrats to those guys. They played around the win, played it perfectly.
You know what's crazy as well? If we just, so I'm not gonna say what the points are. We're gonna see that after this break. But if we look at the points, that 104-point game, like total that they got, would have actually put them inside the bubble. That's why we say a single game can change the entire leaderboard for every single duel playing. That's why you can't give up and you just have to keep on fighting until the end. Okay, like I said, a break. Well, one more game to go. When we come back, take a look at the leaderboard. We'll set up all the crazy things that could happen, and then we'll get ourselves ready to find out who's gonna get that last VR and make it into the top 10. Stress is through the roof. We'll see you after this break. Oh no, I'm stressed.
amount of points we had, maybe 240 points, 238 points out of 20 in Chimp, and to see Veno being able to carry his team, being able to get this many points without even being able to get a victory royale, that means that he's able to make it to the end game and get a bunch of eliminations every single time. Veno and AJ bring out that double fragger that everyone's been talking about at the start of this year, the new dynamic of duos that we expect to be at the top, and to just see how dominant Veno's been, I can expect that we're going to see this dominance continue in the grand finals.
Yeah, I love being proved wrong. Remember how last game I was like, yeah, Veno and Aegis, they seem to be all in as a duo, you know what I mean? If one goes down, they both go down, and Veno's like, nah. I can still solo clutch, Aegis can still solo clutch as well. An incredible run out of Veno right here. I mean, 9 eliminations as just by himself is absolutely incredible. They've been the most consistent team without a doubt throughout the day.
And that's why he is a 5-time champion. We got to turn the page too, though. Let's start talking about the bubble. So remember last time I said Golden Ozone, even if they didn't win that game, they actually have 104 points. The bubble right now is Kanada and Sphinx. Kelly Link. Listen to me right now, Kelly Link.
No.
Kanada has never missed a finals of FNCS, okay? He is on the bubble right now. This is a dangerous game, a fine line we are walking right now, Kelly Link. If he doesn't make finals, I won't be here. I'm not showing up to work. I can't do it.
Listen, now the extra pressure Kanada and Sphinx to not only qualify to the grand finals, but to also make sure that Zeke shows up is placed upon your shoulders. Go, everyone, add Zeke in his prime to blame him if they don't qualify through. But anyway, it's Kanada, it's Sphinx. You think that if anyone's gonna be able to clutch up, it's gotta be this duo right here. Kanada has proven himself to be so smart, so innovative when it comes to the meta not fitting to what he wants. And yes, maybe they're in 15th place right now, but Vivid, they got one more game. They got a chance. It's got to be this, right? Kanada and Sphinx have to go through.
They've got anything going for them right now. Is that, of course, they have the experience on their side. But that point threshold is very, very low. I mean, 15th place right now is 100 points. I think over the course of like Heat 1 and Heat 2, we were around about 150. So, I mean, you got to imagine it might end up being like 130, maybe even lower than that. So they might not need that big of a game, but they are going to need a big game to absolutely and without a doubt secure it. I mean, 30 FNCS finals in a row for Kanada, including all of those LAN appearances. Surely it doesn't end now. I mean, obviously you would still have Tuesday as a last chance, but
yeah,
it's got to make it through Heat.
Yeah, look, this is Kanada, right? We just have to believe right here, right now, he can make something happen. We just had a pretty disastrous game last game where we have to reboot and all this stuff kind of unfolds and went wrong. We have to hope that they've managed to keep their mentals intact and they could just come in, do what needs to be done to secure a spot to next weekend finals. But that's the case for every other duo here, either in the bubble or sitting outside the bubble. And don't forget, a Victory Royale auto qualifies you to next weekend finals. If someone in that top 10 gets a VR, we're gonna have a crazy final leaderboard. So for now, gear up, Fortnite fan. The last game of Heat starts right now. Casters, take it away.
Yeah, the pressure's on Kanada here. We saw the pressure on Golden and Ozone as well, who were very far off qualifying, and then they pulled the win, Jacob. So anything is possible when you're one of the best.
No, it definitely kind of leaves those nerves at attention here that, you know, you can either have a victory royale, hopefully one of those teams above you kind of loosen it up. As it's looking right now, it seems like we might have the lowest point total for a Heat so far of 2026. I don't know, things could change, but that's just what it's looking right now. So Kanada and Sphinx, they have a little bit of a blessing going their way.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I didn't think that it was going to be lower today. We did mention there's always that chance of randomness, but here we have it. Game number 5 is ready.
When you look back at our game winners, Booga, Braids, Reet and Cooper, Clix and Rapid, and then of course Golden and Ozone. Monster, those are 4 teams you could definitely see inside of the top 10. So I think this Heat was kind of destined for this type of finish, to where we were talking about in the beginning of the day, 3 points is the difference from last Heat's average to this Heat's average. We've seen 1 point play the difference between winning a championship, let alone qualifying for the grand finals, and it all comes down to this.
Yeah, in the end, the law of averages will work itself out. So we're going to see how it ends up playing out here. You know, coming into this game again, we didn't expect Veno to even you know, make the pivot of a play last game. Decided to do so. They only found one of the two players. This time, Kanata and Sphinx surely are going to be much more sharper. They're going to be on the lookout. They're going to expect the unexpected, and they only need a few points. So I'm curious if they had a backup plan or backup strategy, or if they're just going to tighten up their drop. Right now, Veno is going to lose to Dragon, though, in the lead there. So you can see that already they're trying to, you know, again, land nearby and be the difference maker.
Yeah, we saw them go for this Mythic Pistol in that last game. Obviously, it was a little bit later on where they kind of had full loadouts and the jump on their opponents. This time, they're just taking the drop straight out of the gate.
What's going on, Maya?
You almost got to give a team like Dragon and Korean a little bit of advantage. They have been landing
E-Rock,
there.
thank you
and
for the
they're playing
refresh.
with a lot on the line as well. We were talking about Kanata and Sphinx at 100. Korean and Dragon at 108 points. If they were to get taken down off spawn, they have to sit and watch their actual spot go by.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious about that because, you know, we were talking about how, like, Queasy and Victor V like to play for this drop. You know, what happens if you have someone like Creon push through, right? And then they all of a sudden determine or decide for themselves, hey, we like this drop. Well, we'll just have to play it out. There you see Veno falling, though. Kanata Sphinx on the other side. Still at the latte, still playing their general route, but this time hip to hip here. Not veering too far off, not looking to venture somewhere that they can't support one another.
Yeah, just going to leave no chances. They're not going to take too many risks, probably, unless they have to in this situation. So we're going to see a lot of hip-to-hip out of Kanata and Sphinx, which could work out to them, because maybe, you know, another team jumps on them, or they're in a situation where they spot a solo out, but Vibe's going to be chilling on top of that mountain. Not necessarily sure he's going to go straight for an elimination, but any damage can put Kanata and Sphinx in a little bit of a hole. This hunting Mako seems to have a good advantage here in their fight. They already got that one elimination and a little bit of elevation over Zeely.
Yeah, this is a really interesting fight that's kind of taken itself out to the coast here. Hunty's going to be the first to fall, though. Zeely ends up catching him. And then the follow-up. Okay, so a little revenge here. For a second there, I thought he took his hands off his keyboard because he was thinking of emoting, but probably just pressing the clip button. Well played for him.
It's not something that happens every day. He hit him with a quick cutback, too. Like, he thought I was gone. Sight! Gets that elimination. That's got to be a big confidence boost. They're in a situation where they need a victory royale if they want to go ahead and advance to the grand finals, dodge that last chance qualifier. I think anything is possible, especially with the way some of our top teams have been playing. Just going straight for eliminations, not necessarily worried about going down. And this is where you see a little bit of a difference this time around. Poyo with the Warforged AR. Peterbot's going to go ahead and grab the other one. Maybe they switch back there, but obviously you can see the tricks that they have up their sleeve. We know throughout the course of the game, they're going to look to get aggressive. It's just a matter of who they're going to fight and what dreams they're going to crush.
Yeah, in last game they found themselves below the surge. We knew it was likely to happen after Peterbot was taking so much of that damage. Just really unlikely as far as how things worked out. But take a look at this. Bucky and Cam making the early rotate here as well, trying to get themselves situated for endgame 2. And they're falling into the hands of players like Gutterleaf, who will happily welcome anyone who wants to rotate by them.
Yeah, free damage, free surge. They just continue to look down from above. Very, very similar spots over here where teams are just lurking around these mending machines, that underground tunnel. Now Peterbot and Poyo look to get offensive, and they're just narrowly going to be able to escape that porta potty teleporter. Push them down below, but at least they give them all the real estate up above to take control, use these mending machines, and just kind of rotate on to the next one. They're not going to sit idly by for too long. It's a team that I feel like just gets bored playing Fortnite, so they just key everybody.
Yeah, definitely an interesting play here, right? Like, they're trying to figure out what
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. P and Poyo get bored sometimes and just start keying everybody.
They've rotated towards different drops. Definitely seems pretty intentional right now. Curve on the other side,
Then again, that's like literally any pro. They'll get so bored to a point where the lobbies are like actually boring, and they'll just be like, all right, time to fucking shit on the whole lobby.
And Creon, yes, 108 points, maybe 111, because they did get that elimination onto Veno.
Oh.
And they lurk all the way to the side. They were looking for Agers. They chased Agers into their own demise. Now Curve and Higgs are here. Both teams essentially qualified to the grand finals already, but they can definitely play spoiler to what Agers has going on.
Agers has a med kit. Curve is like, dude, we know there was someone here. He's going to check for it. He checks the cone. You can see inside the cone, of course. Goes for the right camera peek. Agers barely misses that one, and off he goes. What a way for this one to turn around. Curve Higgs fired up. Agers gets caught out there. Well played. He did try. They did try, but it's Creon and Dragon in the end who end up really taking the bulk of the L here.
Chasing away that elimination. Obviously going to wait for confirmation, but starting the game at 108 plus the 3 points per elimination. We know where they stand on the leaderboard. So I feel like they're hoping and praying one of the teams above them on that leaderboard wins the game, alleviates the pressure at the bottom of the consistency teams that will get granted a spot in. Only time will tell how they're feeling when this one's said and done. Cash and Spear, another team that actually has a few moments throughout the course of today where you kind of look at them, it's like these guys, you know, can fight with the best. They held off Peterbot and Pollo for quite some time and even forced them to disengage from the actual fight. And if they could just have one decent game, they don't even need anything phenomenal, but just one decent game, they could be one of the newest teams here in the grand finals.
Yep, just got to touch the backboard. That's all they got to do. Pollo, Peterbot already swapped up the loadouts here. You saw the SMG exchange, so Peterbot back with the War 4 JR. Losing to Minty, though, in Autumn here. Again, Peterbot getting shot more than we see him take damage often. Started off really strong. Pollo comes back around there. Give me a second. Finish this one up pretty quickly there. Where was Autumn that entire time, by the way? Minty's just out there boxing with the best. Autumn's down at the bottom. Oh no. His teammate surely is going to be yapping about this one.
Wow.
Whoa, wait a second. A monstrous shot. Shuts down Pollo. Peterbot's in a 1v1 now.
Yeah, this is going to be a moment he's definitely going to remember. That wasn't just a shot. Like you said, a monster shot where the builds are breaking, but Pete is Pete. Goes back up, returns to the scenic ground to finish his job. Pollo drops down below. Typically, you could go over to the reboot van, but that's just going to make way too much noise. So great heads-up play by Pollo. Just waiting for Peterbot to finish that fight, get their 4th elimination, and kind of rise up the leaderboard. They do have a legitimate chance to take first. They do have a little bit of a gap to overcome with Adrian and Veno no longer in this game. That's the first place team out of action.
Yeah, I like how there was like probably an argument between Autumn and his teammate, and then he draws Pollo. I'm like, hey, he redeemed himself. Couldn't quite come through in the end. Pessy and Deveda this entire time. Remember, they were the team that was chased down the zip line, came back as well, just listening, kind of hearing this all go down. This is Peterbot and Pollo just taking control of that machine, by the way.
Yeah, just kind of leaving nothing behind. Going right back on up. He's going to get a good vantage view up above. Seeing what scraps of loot they can have to kind of finish off their loadout. And kind of go from there. I know this is not the last we've seen of Peterbot and Pollo, but Dimsy and Allen. Allen's going to go down. Dimsy now left by himself against Higgs and Curve. Almost named their duo name there, but Dimsy with a big shot onto Higgs to slow him down. He needs the siphon for the HP. Shield's not necessarily going to be a worry here. And with Curve popping that chug jump, that's going to give him a little bit of time to try to get the shield off, but he trades shots, doesn't get the shield on back, and goes down. Dimsy and Allen will fall and will have to play through the LCQ.
Curve is so smart. You saw there, just cones in, just like, nope, I'm just gonna chill. Zone's done enough for you. Either way, clutches it up. Look at this play. Look at this. Talk about having fun. This is how they have fun here. Just full sends another team just hiding in the big metal base. No problem.
Just gotta see what they can get away with here. Nobody really even looking in their direction. The third party. Pollo gets one. Stack them up. Knock them down. 6 eliminations here in counting. You see 2 teams at Sanctuary. 2 teams on the west side. Again, nobody even lurking in this direction. I think they kind of see the feed and realize it's Peterbot and Pollo, and that is one bear you do not want to poke.
Let's take a look at it from Pollo's perspective the entire way through. Oh yeah, he literally leads that entire elimination right there. Catches the nice angles. Off to the next fight they go. You know, I was thinking about, like, hey, if you were on the standings and you were, like, in the low 100 team point range, like, you would literally need all your competition to get dropped. And the way Peterbot is playing right now, he's probably the blessing in disguise for those that are struggling with
That Warforged AR strikes in camp. This is just madness right now. Seconds in the box is all it takes to get another couple of eliminations. And I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. This might be just one of those games to where if you don't have points and you're on the line, where I was talking about some of the teams before where you don't need to win, you just need to do the bare minimum. This might be that game. This honestly looks like my trip in Division 2 when the Central players kind of come over to West, they W key the lobby. I just hide in a cone, let them do the heavy lifting. And I think that's the approach some of these teams might be taking.
Yeah, definitely. Look, 30 teams remaining right now. By far, the thinnest lobby of the weekend here. Go figure, it's the most stacked one, right? You have the upper heavyweight players in the lobby here. And then you got just Peterbot, Boyo in the mix, dominating, pushing through all these poor players. Just trying to figure it out, just trying to make it work. For some, it's their first finals opportunity. For others, they've kind of shared their way into those set lobbies time, few in between.
Ooh, that's a big shot by Centro to slow Poyo down for a moment. But then you remember it's a full duo in the box. 10 eliminations here so far. And just to kind of reference, they had the most eliminations in the play-in, 280. They had 10 plus eliminations game. They already have one. They had 6 20 plus eliminations game, and I feel like that's the next goal that they're after.
It's actually working out really well for Kanata and Sphinx. They're already in the new zone. No surge to worry about. They've kind of kept a low profile because they wanted and had to the entire time, right? They need those special points. They want to push through. And then you got Peterbot, Boyo thinning out the lobby. You have King and Craze thinning out the lobby. Like, this is perfect for them.
Especially since they're already inside of the zone. A few teams still might come from that western and southern edge overall, but since they're already positioned there, full boxed up with some extra space, little to nothing to worry about. Very, very similar to Higgs and Curve here, which aren't too far away from where Kanata and Sphinx are actually at. They've already made their moves early, 7 eliminations, so not necessarily a worry as you see King and Craze continuing to go on the frenzy. That's their first elimination of this game, and it already looks like they're gonna lock up number 2 here, eliminating that full duo from the lobby.
That was nicely done too. They did that while rotating their way to the new zone, so it's not even like they're like intentionally looking for the W key there. That one just landed for them. Peterbot, Boyo chasing right now. Who did they find? They just see a solo and they're just gunning their way outside the storm line there.
Monster, you ask, you shall receive. Who did he find? Kugo. At least it's just a knock. At least it's just a knock, and Castle is still alive. So their dreams aren't
fucking
over just
Peterbot
yet.
and Poyo
Definitely
just
have taken a turn,
storming through the
especially since we are
fucking
in
lobby.
The 5th zone. It's already a 2-tick, and once here in a few seconds, we're gonna move into 6. And this is where that 5 points of damage for every second you are in the zone. So if you're not in the safe spot just yet, you're gonna have to beeline your way there. As you see more and more teams trying to accumulate that storm surge damage. Even in accelerated lobby, it's still a thing in the back of some players' minds. Everyone except for Peterbot and Poyo.
No.
Okay, but Peterbot's down. Boyo's here. Finds the follow-ups, the instant elimination, but no, the thirst comes through at the end. This is 13 elims now. Is Boyo gonna go for the reboot though? That's a real question. Boss is one right there. Oh, this is King and Craze. That was crazy.
Might have a chance to.
Oh, yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there's one on top of the mountain. I was thinking Frosted Flats. It might be too far away. Then I'm like, wait a minute. I'm pretty sure there is a second reboot. Pushed or not, he's going to have to go ahead and get aggressive here. Big shot can be fired off. He's taking over 180 damage just like that until he's sprayed down by King and Craze. One hunter into another.
I was gonna say, you know, again, we made all these references about King and Craze, the other team in this lobby, thinning things out. And you just shot the wrong duo on the rotate. They have nothing to lose. You saw how fast they just turned. In a normal grand finals, that right there, never happening. They're never keying into the storm, away from the safe zone. But all good. Entertainment was there. Curve and Higgs, though, on the pressure right now. Who is that they're fighting?
I thought for a moment, because I saw in the feed, that they did take down Sphinx. He is fully eliminated out of this lobby, but that might have been the blessing for Kanata. A whole nother team pushing in to try to disrupt that fight. This is how they found that elimination, rotating from Frosted Flats, trying to make their way on over, and you can see he wasn't able to actually get the revive. So Kanata now in this game as a solo, and he's right below all the action of Higgs and Curves.
How badly does he want to kick? Curve and Higgs actually have 9 elims as well. Talk about a huge game for them right now. It's just happened out of nowhere. The zone is going to double back, though, towards Kanata. He might be able to count his lucky stars here. Now, I kind of have a problem with this, though. You don't have Peterbot in this lobby anymore, so they're not going to continue to be keying. Unless King and Craze, Higgs and Curve keep pushing the rest of this lobby, everyone else is playing for the win.
Yeah, I feel like now we have begun Game 5 of Fortnite. If you're lucky enough to make it this far in the game, got yourself a real shot. Kanata, remember we saw Dragon and Creon go down around 111 points. So he is still the person to be around 10th place on the consistency leaderboard. Just needs to go ahead and get a couple more placement points or another couple of eliminations here. That'll put him at least above Dragon and Creon. A little bit of a cushion starting to be built.
He's got a lot of kind of area to play with here. This is all his old zone. Just trying to utilize that wood the best that he can to get to the front now. Again, all that matters now is that he earns himself some placement points. I'm thinking he's going to need probably 30, maybe 40 points minimal. But no, Curves sees the solo here. He's already pressured them once. Kanata doubles back. This is good, though. He's got that all under control. Curve recognizes there could be danger there. These are metal boxes he retreated to.
Yeah, luckily for him, there was all that space for him to go in, which makes it, like you're saying, so risky for Higgs and Curve. They're going to slow it down just a little bit. They realize the stage of the game that we're actually into, these moving zones. One mistake could cost them an opportunity here, even with their spot already secured. If we find ourselves with a Higgs and Curve victory royale, again, the bottom of the leaderboard will shift up just a little bit. So you got to look at the silver lining. In a lot of the situations here where they already have 10 2,400 above the damage threshold. I think that's just as impressive as the 10 eliminations themselves.
Leading the lobby right now, leading the pack here, doing very, very well for themselves. And look at this, this really isn't even a real mid-ground layer. Like Higgs and Curve kind of have this like chill lobby. This is what happens in the end game when you start to really push players to their limit and everyone is so low on the standings and out of the race that they need that win for grand finals. This is exactly what happens. Meanwhile, Kanata, more pressure than anyone else right here as a solo takes down one. Can't quite get the finish as he has to rotate through, but he leaves that player in the storm. He might be able to earn himself some placement points here, and of course the elimination points. We'll see.
Definitely see why he just made no play for the actual loot. He's pretty stacked for the most part, especially considering he was a solo. Max is finally going to get cleaned up, so he does get his points. 111, tying Dragon and Creon on the overall leaderboard. One more team needs to go down. Who kind of passed them, start to build that cushion. But you can see how dangerous of a position, not only he, but Spear is on the other side. 134, much farther up on the leaderboard. But you could even have that feeling that maybe it's not over just yet, but he is so close to qualifying.
I don't know how I feel about the ultimate low ground play, but he goes for it. Meanwhile, Bucky and Cam try to make the heroes effort play for high ground, but Cam is left by himself as it turns to a failed attempt in the end. Higgs and Curve thwart their attempt.
Sadly, no
Cam
Peterbot though.
heal.
Kind of makes it sad.
Falls at 115, Jacob.
Oh yeah, they definitely
now
did.
You're really
They just started
to feel
W
that
King
pressure,
for
Monster.
whatever
13
fucking
eliminations
reason.
though for Curve and Higgs. They're continuing to light up the leaderboard. Top 16 situation. 3 players, Monster, running around as solos down below.
You need one of these big dogs to take this win right now. You need King or Craze to do it. If you're on the bubble, you want someone above you to qualify at this point in time. Higgs and Curve are still fighting their way through the lobby, by the way, but King and Craze just are dominating here now, pressuring everyone down low, creating the blender for the rest of the competition here. I still see Skittles up. Oh, look at this. Kayan and Skittle actually just jump up over the 120 mark. That's the placement points that everyone else was trying to fight for. Here goes the high ground fight again. It's Leaf this time, but he's not going to have enough firepower there. King and Craze take a lot of damage, but they have enough to kind of maintain control here. Craze trying to finish what he started. Goes to the outskirts, goes to the wall take. Curve finds an Elim on the low ground. Off to the front side he goes. This is all up to Kingaling now. High ground, solo.
Yeah, both Curve and King, both as solos. They were the ones that were left alive, kind of affecting the lobby the most, especially after Veno ages, Peterbot, Pollo no longer around. So this is where you really have to push yourself forward. Top 10, half of the placement points already, but the lights get shut out. King gets another elimination as he makes his way back on up into the clouds, kind of give him a bird's eye view, but it's not going to be for free. Zen fighting for it before he eventually has fallen. Him and Paper will get sent out, and Curve turns back to the scene of the crime. This is his high ground. You are just a placeholder.
Why not? Why not continue to fight for it? They're just having fun at this point.
You were just a
Curves
placeholder,
smashing the
he
lobby
said,
right here,
is
finds another
crazy.
solo. There's just a singular duo down there kind of in the mix, but it doesn't matter. Cirque here at 164. Surely he's done enough now. He's just fighting his way through this endgame. Saf here finds himself at 136, playing the storm line. He's not going to have enough time probably to go for the next one. Curve finds him as well. 15 eliminations and counting here, Jacob.
Come
He's
on,
now
Curve.
focusing
This
in
is
on
for
the
you
other
and
solo,
Higgs.
who's trying to run back to the storm line. That's a fresh elim there, and he's
Getting
trying to fight for
chopped.
20, but Bolo, tragic at 89 points, but Curve is still fighting for it.
I've never witnessed such greatness. Curve, 16 eliminations, already
Oh my
17.
God.
Dodging
Ooh,
the first shot. Yes,
one
70
knot.
on the chug jug. Blocks off the shockwave.
Let's
Forces
go.
Colo out. Curve,
Big motherfucking
18
Higgs.
eliminations
Wait a
as
minute,
solo.
so
He has stolen today's
Clix
show.
and Higgs both qualified. That's crazy.
21 total, but Curve puts the lobby in his pocket and to the bank. That is how you
Fucking
put him
bud.
away right there, Jacob. What a fun way
That's
for
a beautiful
us
ending.
to close out the Heat 3 here. Zeke, I mean, give us your thoughts now.
They didn't get the easy qual. So
dude.
fucking
No way. By the
6,
way, no big
7,
deal.
8,
FNC is champion, by
9,
the way.
10,
Curve.
11, 12, 13,
Oh
14,
my
15th
gosh.
place,
This
I
kid has
believe.
been
If
up on
that's
the
your
rise.
placement,
I've
you're
had the
qualified.
pleasure
So
of
yes,
meeting his
Peterbot and Pollo
family.
still
Back
qualified.
at Summit, we had a chance to talk to Curve mom and dad, some of the sweetest
But
people you ever seen in your life. I'm telling you right now,
not
his
with a
dad
win, sadly.
is probably screaming at the top of his lungs right now, which is what I want to do in celebration as well. But I gotta make sure that
What
I don't,
tournament,
like,
chat?
we do a show here. Kelly Link.
What a
Curve
turn.
just solo clutched a game in
What do
his
you mean
entirety.
you're not gonna scream at the top
Nah,
of
that
your
is
lungs?
real,
That's
though.
exactly what
A
you
fucking
just did. That's
controller
what we
player
were
just
all
solo clutched.
doing. Zeke, Vivid, everyone watching at home, he had more eliminations than any other duo had together in a single game. And if you actually look at the leaderboard, he might have more eliminations than a lot of duos together. 18 eliminations from our reigning NAC champion Curve. You gotta think that Higgs is super happy with this pickup right now. They've been looking good all day, but that game solidifies it.
Listen, Levin's little fantasy league that he's created for us here for the FNCS had me so invested in that game because I had Curve on my team and I was loving every last bit of that. I mean, the guy was up on high ground. Not even when he was just specifically up on high ground. That pistol in hand, like, were we in a Heat's final lobby or was Curve in like an aim training little map or something like that? Because anytime somebody was on his screen, he was just hitting the shots super,
Oh, hell yeah,
super
dude.
clean out of Curve. I mean, look at this. He's got 7.
A lot of
going
fucking
into,
big
you know, he's
name
in 7th
fucking
zone right now. He picks
people
up
that
10
just
more
fucking
in just the
qual.
last final zones here. Incredible work from Curve.
18 eliminations. 18
Who?
eliminations. Guys, I just want to say,
Yeah.
obviously, like,
Most of that was
an
probably
incredible
the
game, but
fucking
I've just been so
FNCS
impressed
win
by
from,
so many of the duos we've seen across this weekend that are
Major
newly
one.
formed, that are coming into this. They all have their eyes set on one thing, the
Yep.
global championship.
One over
I
1
am
mil.
so impressed, Kelly, seeing the growth from Curve from even just a major ago.
I
to
thought
the
he had 1
summit
mil
where he gets his
earnings.
first. Think
Everybody
back
was
then
saying
as well,
that he
gets
has
a
1 mil
solo
earnings. That's
VR clutch
crazy.
run back then. Veno daps him up like, dude, you're nuts. Comes in here, solo clutches an 18 elimination.
Yep, prime. That was his prime. Yep. Yep. That was when Peterbot was only in his prime. People are saying Pollo's now in his prime, but How much? Oh, hell yeah. I know he's younger, a little bit younger than Peterbot, but I was like, I know he's not that far off because he has 2 less wins than Peterbot. So, all right, chat, we gonna rate out, cause yeah, I'm gonna get me some food and go on from there. Who? I want to say Booga. Booga. If you said Buka, then I would definitely EU. Yeah, Malibuka definitely. Yeah, that would make sense. Yep. 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 EU. God damn. All right, Toes. All right.